That's John Gutekunst, the coach of the Gophers. And you saw Hayden Fry across the way, the Iowa coach. The Metrodome, 63,669 here, sold out tonight. Their biggest crowd previously was 44,500 for Northwestern, and that means here Minnesota won the toss of the coin and will receive here to start this football game. So the Hawkeyes will be on defense, Mike, to start it out.
That's right, and the fact that Minnesota won it and took the ball with the weather conditions in those past games that we've just talked about, in most cases, I remember the team that won it deferred so that they could have their option in the second half. But here, without any elements to really affect the game, anybody that wins the toss would surely take the ball or have the ball kicked to them. And then which direction does the Hawkeyes kick from? That doesn't make any difference either. So it'd be kind of interesting sometime to find out how a team, when they do have the designation to kick, what goal do they want to defend? Why do they want one end or the other here?
We're all set to go. And Minnesota has Chris Gators back deep to handle the kickoff, number 2. And Jeff Skillett, number 11, will kick off. And we're underway at the Metrodome. It comes on the far side, out to the 20-yard line, out to the 40, and tripped up right there at the 45. And that was Sean Lumpkin who returned that kickoff. And a good return he got.
He sure did. Sean Lumpkin, a freshman for Minnesota. Watch this. He had got some great blocking up front. They attacked the left side of the kickoff team of the Hawkeyes, and there you see that big opening that he had. And there's Jeff Skillett making the play. Burton Hanks, a few others coming over to help out, but boy, that's a big play for Minnesota. It's exactly what we talked about. If they get something done here quickly, it could be the real factor in this game.
The Gophers have Terry Stewart starting in the backfield in place of Thompson. He got the pitch and didn't get the corner. He got back barely to the line of scrimmage, and Mike Burke was over there, defensive end for the Hawkeyes, and he's the guy who downed him.
That's right, Mike Burke in good pursuit. Joe Mott came all the way across the field to help out there also. There you see the offensive line, the interior line for the Minnesota Gophers. Some pretty good-sized people. Minnesota always is big up front in their offensive and defensive lines. And there's the backs and receivers. So we'll talk more about the quarterback here as the game goes on.
Second down and 10 as Schaffner rolls out, throws it, is not complete. It hit the turf, and it was intended over here for Michael Baker. Brian Wise, the strong safety, number 15, is the guy who covered for the Hawkeyes. Michael Baker, 5'11", 185, and a senior from St. Louis, Missouri, who plays behind Jason Bruce at the flanker spot. And there's the Hawkeye defensive unit.
Right, the two good defensive ends, Joe Mott, Burke. Matt Rulin coming on, replacing Jimmy Johnson. Rulin's doing a good job. There you see son Jim, Boss, Smiley, Weiss, Hanks, and Brown fill out that defensive unit.
So it's third down and 10 for the Gophers. Schaffner back to throw now, runs up in there, still wants to throw now, puts it away to run, and a flag is down, and he's out at the 50. A gain of 4 for the quarterback, Scott Schaffner, but we've got a flag down for the first time in the game.
And with the flag thrown in that position, it's normally holding, and I've seen Joe Mott already signal to the bench that it will be holding against Minnesota. So with that minimal gain of 5 yards, it'll be fourth down and 5. I'm sure the Hawkeyes will force them or want them to punt after forcing this fourth down situation. There you get a chance to see Schaffner, some pretty good running ability. Haight and Chase, son Jim and Chase. Son Jim knocks him out of bounds.
Son Jim, the Oriental linebacker, as we call him. Mike has had a great time watching his son play this season. I'm sure a lot of days he wishes maybe he was just watching the game and not having to broadcast when you've got a son who's a senior in college. But you've made it through it, Dad.
Well, we sure have, and it's been fun. Good effort by the defense of the Hawkeyes opening this game out. You can see certainly that with Minnesota getting that great field position on the kickoff, the Hawkeye defense had to rise to the occasion, which they did.
Brent Herbel's into punt. They got the rush on him, gets it away. Peter Marciano standing back, fair catch at the 17. So the Hawkeyes first and 10 from their own 17-yard line. timeout on the field. We'll be back after these messages on the Hawkeye Sports Network. At their own 17-yard line. Harberts and Sean Smith are set wide to the right in a slot formation. Number 84, Marv Cook, the tight end. Here's the handoff going to Saunders as he slants into the left side, and it was Mike Saunders.
And Mike Saunders getting his first start as a Hawkeye. Tony Stewart got injured last week. You'll see it here, attacking that left side. Bob Kratz, the great tackle for the Hawkeyes, isn't starting in there at the left tackle, but some good blocking over there.
It's a 5-yard gain, 2nd and 5. Hartlieb throws out and complete to Cook, the tight end, and he's got a first down. He's out of bounds at the 30, and it was Max Stevens, a linebacker, who came over there for the Gophers to down him. So first down of the game.
Well, the first pass of the game for the Hawkeyes. Good protection back there, and Hartlieb saw Marv Cook over in the flat, dumped it to him, and sure-handed Marv turns it upfield, takes a good shot there, but he's a tough guy. He can handle that. Rob Baxley in there for Bob Kratz over on the left side, but the other thing, Bob Schmidt's in there at left guard.
Gain of 9. They give it to Saunders into the right side. They wrap him up as he got a short gain to just short of the 33. It was Trent Tripp, a defensive tackle, who came over to dry up the play.
Well, there you see the starting lineups, but at the last minute, a couple changes. We'll get to those, but Anderson, Divis, and Miller on the right side. And Chuck Hartlieb, Sean Smith, Saunders we mentioned. Good set of backs back there with Richard Bass at fullback.
Gain of about a yard, actually. Hartlieb going to throw again. Throws to the sideline. It's complete and out of bounds for Sean Smith. A nice catch at the Gopher 44-yard line. And it was Joel Brown, the strong safety, who made the tackle.
Well, once again, some great protection in there for Chuck Hartlieb right at the last minute. One of the defenders gets through, but look at that pass. Perfect throw out there to Sean Smith. Ran that deep out pattern. Chuck Hartlieb had it right on the money.
23-yard play to the Gopher 44. Harberts comes wide to the right. Sean Smith, number 22, out wide to the left. With Bass and Saunders, 23 and 32 in the I formation. They shovel it to Saunders, cuts it inside. Nice cut, the 40 and down at the 39. Gain of 5 for Mike Saunders. He's playing in place, of course, of Tony Stewart, who had a knee operation this week. Joel Statz, a linebacker, a freshman, a true freshman from Winona, Minnesota. Number 53 is the guy who tossed the reins on him.
That's right. Joel Brown, the strong safety for Minnesota, came up and looked like he might make quite a play. Richard Bass was out there to make a good block at the point, but there you see there's a clipping penalty being called against the Hawkeyes, so that's going to bring that play back.
Minnesota's season here called disastrous by the St. Paul paper this morning. They thought this was a team with bowl chances, and they are now fighting to try to get a win today to stay out of 10th place in the Big Ten.
Well, they've had some problems up here with injuries primarily. John Leveren's a very, very fine all Big Ten linebacker out of Ankeny, Iowa. Led the Big Ten in tackles last year. He's been out. And a number of other players as well. The quarterback situation kind of blew up on him here. Alan Holt was a starting quarterback. And the coach Gudenauer made a change. Gudekunst, excuse me, made a change with him.
So the 15-yard penalty puts the Hawkeyes back to their own 46. It's 1st and 20 now. Here's the throw by Hartlieb, complete to Saunders, to the 50, to the 40 of Minnesota, and spilled at the Minnesota 36. That'll be an 18-yard play. It's not enough for the first down.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, they picked up a lot of yardage. Watch this now. You see Saunders go up there and then off to the side. It's a well-executed screen play. Some great blocking out in front. Bang. You see Divis knock that defensive back backwards. So they didn't pick up the first down, but the 2nd and 2 or 3, that's quite an improvement over 1st and all the yardage they had before.
Hartlieb hollering up and down the line. You'll see him doing a lot of that tonight with the noise. Going back in the pocket on 2nd down. Throws it's complete to Cook. He's got the first down, and he's out of bounds at the Gopher 27. And that will be a 9-yard gain. Marv Cook, the leading receiver in the Big Ten Conference with 51 catches.
And you see Cook coming from the right side, going across the screen. He's out there pretty much all by himself. The linebackers are dropping back pretty good distance, and as long as they leave that 8 to 10 yard pass open in front of them, you can bet Chuck Hartley is going to be looking at his favorite receiver, Marv Cook. And then when they start collapsing and coming in to try and tighten up on that, that's going to open up a lot of that those curl-in patterns behind the linebackers.
Hartley's 4 for 4, 59 yards. Our stats guy is Mark Jennings again tonight. Here's the delay to Saunders. Good job of adjusting to the 20 and to the 15 and down and out of bounds at the 12. And another first down for the Hawks on a 15-yard run. Sean Lumpkin, the free safety, is the guy who saddled him.
Well, you made the comment there that he makes quite an adjustment. I'll say an excellent. Right about there where the picture came on, he had almost come to a dead stop trying to find an opening, and then when he did see it to the outside, he had great acceleration to get out there. Mike Saunders, first start, as we mentioned, having a good first quarter, first drive of the game right here.
First down at the Gopher 13 is where they spot it. Hartley gives it to Bass this time, the fullback. He's inside the 10, and he did a good job of keeping those legs driving, squirted through the hole, and he was stopped by Ron Getz finally, but he got down to the 5.
Well, I'll tell you, right over the top of Anderson and Schmidt in there. Two good blockers. Well, watch this extra effort. It looked like he got caught there a couple times, but he kept fighting to pick up the 3 or 4 extra yards.
Bob Schmidt back in that Hawkeye lineup. He missed 6 games. Hadn't played since the Michigan State game. Number 60 from Waterloo at left guard. They give it to Bass. He's got a hole, and they drop him at the 2. So Bass picked up 3. And it's going to bring up 3rd down now. And he may have the first down. Let's see.
Watch this. Just a straight handoff. Some good power blocking up front. He gets hit pretty hard right there by the Minnesota defender and stopped him cold in the 2-yard line. But it is a first down, so it's 1st and goal on the 2-yard line.
Bell is in there in the power I formation. They give it to Bass into the rather to Saunders into the left side. And he gets a yard. So it'll be 2nd and goal at the 1-yard line for the Hawkeyes. Minnesota setting up their defense at the 1-yard line. The Gophers coming in here 2-6-2. Overall 0-5-2 in the Big Ten.
You can bet the Hawkeyes are going to hammer it right in there again.
Hartley gives to Bass. He leaps, and they body block him out of there as Bass got down to the goal line. Joel Statz, a linebacker, is the guy who fielded Richard Bass.
There you can see up in the air, but the linebackers and deep backs that are waiting just for that, if there isn't enough thrust off the line of scrimmage to knock some of those people backwards, that's exactly what those defenders are supposed to do, go up over the top to meet that back right at the line of scrimmage. And so far, 2 great efforts on the part of the Minnesota defense, keeping Iowa out of the end zone.
3rd and goal from the 1-yard line. No gain. They shovel it to Saunders. Skips a tackle to the corner. He's in for the touchdown. Just inside the pylon for Mike Saunders, who starts here tonight in place of Tony Stewart, who had the knee operation this week. Saunders, a redshirt freshman from Milton, Wisconsin.
And Mike Saunders does a good job. Great block there by Bass right there to get him to the outside, but he relaxes just a little bit. Look at this. Then all of a sudden he has to get in and turn it on a little bit to get inside that corner. I imagine Coach Fry might say, Mike, don't be doing those things. You know, that's kind of scary on the sideline. Hold that ball in there and get it in.
Skillett will try the point from placement. Matt Rogers will hold it. Spot is down. The kick is up, and it is no good. And Skillett, who had made all 31 of his points after, misses his first one of the season. So timeout of the field. 8:59 left here in the first quarter. The Hawkeyes lead at 6-0. Back after these messages on the Hawkeye Sports Network.
I think we're going to see as this season goes on with the Hawkeyes.
Comes to Gators at the 5-yard line. Chris Gators. He gets away from a tackle. Now he's wrapped up. So the Gophers will have it around their own 20. Iowa 5 first downs in that drive. Covered 83 yards in 12 plays.
Well, a very good drive, too, minus a 115-yard penalty in there for clipping. I think it was a crackback block from the far side, the wide receiver out there, but Hawkeyes were able to overcome that, which could have been a major obstacle, but they were able to get it upfield and get it in the end zone.
The Gophers with a first down. They mark it at the 22. And they have Stewart in the tailback spot. Terry Stewart, he gets the handoff off left guard, and not much there. Got back to the line of scrimmage and not much more.
Well, the Hawkeye front line doing a great job here in the first couple series. That time they came up with the linebackers up tight, filling the gap. It's almost like a goal line defense with everybody responsible for a gap. I'm sure just trying to get some pressure on that Minnesota offense. They know they like to run that option play, but if he gets a penetration, that's one of the quickest ways to stop an effective option type offense.
No gain, 2nd and 10. Scott Schaffner, number 15, the quarterback. Inside flip, and it's Octavius Gould, the fullback, and he gets onto the 31, and it's not a first down. He's got a gain of 9. That's a pass, a complete pass. Brad Quast and Merton Hanks, linebacker, and free safety were the guys who made the tackle.
There you see a little shovel pass. It basically is just a center screen, if you want to call it that. Sometimes you see that halfback going across the line of, or not the line of scrimmage, but from one side to the other. But that's just a little quick toss, a draw play, whatever you want to call it. It's a delay type of play after showing a pass.
3rd down and a yard. They pitch it for a sweep to Stewart, and he's got the first down out to midfield at the Hawkeye 40, away from Hanks for a moment, and now brings him down at the 30 of the Hawkeyes. In fact, they'll mark it at the 32. It was Merton Hanks, a sophomore from Dallas, who caught up with him.
Yeah, Merton Hanks is there, and then Brad Quast in pursuit. You can see it's a quick toss out there. Brad Quast gets caught up inside. He cuts back against Brian Wise, and then there's nobody back there directly behind him. And there you see Merton Hanks with Brad Quast chasing him down. So there's a big play for Minnesota to counter that Hawkeye drive and touchdown to move it down deep into Iowa territory.
38-yard gain, 6-0. The Hawkeyes lead it here. First down, Minnesota in Hawkeye territory, and they give it this time to the fullback, and that is Patrick Cummings, who carried. Cummings, a junior from Madison, Wisconsin, 6'1" and 217. And he got a yard to the 30, so 2nd down and 9 for the Gophers. From the Hawkeye 30, so it was Terry Stewart who put him in business here. Stewart, 6'2", 198, and a senior from Memphis, Tennessee. 2nd down and 9 for the Gophers. 6-0, the Hawkeyes lead it. Schaffner going to the air to the sideline. It is complete, and the receiver is spilled at the 20. And that was Keaton Smiley who made the tackle, and it was Craig Otto who made the catch, the tight end.
On the wide side there, it's a quick hitch pattern. Saw that open spot, stopped right at him. Brad Quast, from linebacker, coming out trying to help out with underneath coverage, but couldn't get there quick enough. So Minnesota keeps drive going with another first down.
11-yard gain at the 19. They put Jason Bruce wide to the left. They set Chris Gators to the right. Here's Schaffner back in the pocket. Not much pressure this time. Throws it back, and it's not complete. Dropping the ball was Patrick Cummins, the fullback, and it was Jim Riley, a linebacker, who leads the Hawkeye tackle chart with 117 stops, who had the coverage there. Son Jim.
Well, out of time back there for Schaffner to throw that football. Couldn't find a man open. He wanted to just dump it off to the back coming out of the backfield. And Son Jim happened to see that because they saw him make a move in that direction even before the ball was thrown.
Schaffner's 2 for 4. 20 yards. 2nd down and 10 from the Hawkeye 19. A sweep by Stewart into the short side, and he is inside the 15. It's not a first down. He's got to get to the 9. And they mark it down for a gain of 6 for Terry Stewart, the tailback.
Pretty much the same play. You can see it there. This time the Hawkeyes got over there in a little better pursuit. Didn't let him cut back, and with no tackles being missed, stopped him for a 5-yard gain. But 3rd down and 4. Big play here for the Hawkeyes to hopefully force Minnesota into a field goal attempt.
Bruce is wide to the left with the tight end also set that way in a gap with Gators to the right, number 2 to the sideline. Schaffner gives to Stewart on a slant, and he does not get the first down. He's into the 10, and he gained 3, so it'll bring up 4th down and a yard. So the Hawkeye defense stops him here after Stewart ran 37 yards to the Hawkeye 31 to put Minnesota in the Hawkeye end of the field. 6-0 Iowa leads it on Saunders' 1-yard run. Stewart had 5 carries, 47 yards for the Minnesota team. Rick Platt, the Iowa promotions director, is our spotter. Again, Mark Jennings, the men's athletic fundraiser, is our stats guy. And Brent Berglund will attempt a field goal. It'll be a 28-yard attempt. Spot is down, kick is up, and it is good. So, timeout in the field. 4:36 left in the first period. Iowa leads Minnesota 6-3. Back after this message on the Hawkeye Sports Network.
Coaches, the running backs. There's a drive that Minnesota just put together to counter that Hawkeye touchdown. So it's very important now that the Hawkeyes come out and take charge again once more with that offensive unit. As we talked so many times, and it happens so many times in a game, you get a team like Minnesota that's having some trouble. Everybody's talked up here anyway that this is Minnesota's bowl game. They're not going to go anywhere beyond tonight, so they want to go out on a high note, and they're playing at this point some pretty inspired football, looks to me.
Here's the kickoff, and it comes to Sean Smith out to the 20 and to the 25. He and Chet Davis back there to handle the kickoff. Sean Smith, 6'1", 190, a junior from Inglewood, California. He returned one 35 yards against Northwestern for Iowa's long return.
And you see Chet Davis coming over there. He should have a little better communication of who's going to take that ball, because sure thing could happen. They bump right at that point where the ball's coming in as one of their hands, and that ball squirts loose. Could be a major impact or major turnover in the part of Hawkeyes, but fortunately Smith was able to take the ball, get it upfield, give the Hawkeyes a pretty good room to start this offensive drive.
At their own 25, Hartley gives it in there to Richard Bass, goes down the line until he finds a very little hole, and they bring him down at the 26. Ron Getz, who leads the Minnesota tackle chart with 104 stops, also is tied for their lead in tackles for a loss with 7.
And you can see there the Minnesota defensive line and linebackers doing a pretty good job of sealing that off right there. Limit Richard Bass to just a couple yards.
2nd down, about 8.5 for the Hawks. Hartley gonna go to the air. He's complete to Saunders out of the backfield, and they drive him out at the 36, and it is a first down. He got a 10-yard gain there on that pass play from Hartley to Saunders.
Well, good job here by Hartley. He's looking downfield. He's got Marv Cook and Sean Smith going deep, but there's his little escape pattern, the dump-off pass to Saunders. Saunders the type of guy you'd like to get the ball to him in situations like that, because he's got the good speed and the running ability to pick up some pretty good yardage after he catches the ball.
First down, 6-3 the Hawks. Saunders gets a hole on the left side, and he gets out to about the 38. A gain of a couple. Over there on that left side for the Hawkeyes, we've got Rob Baxley along with Bob Schmidt, number 60. Baxley's 78. And on the right side we have Mike Miller along with Greg Divis. 69 and 58 is the guard and tackle. Marv Cook is the tight end. Here's Hartley on 2nd down. Got lots of time. Gives it to Bass. And he is rolled down at the 42. And that'll be a gain of 4.
Tell you what, you have to give Minnesota some credit right here. They're covering deep pretty darn well. Marv Cook again, Sean Smith running the deep pattern. And they couldn't find an open spot. You could see Hartley dancing around there, just avoiding a few people to get the ball dumped off to that back, coming out of the backfield once again.
3rd down and 4. Hartley going to throw it to the sideline, and it is interference on Devin Harberts. He was cut down as the pass was still on the way at the 35-yard line of Minnesota. It was Charles McCree, number 3, Joel Brown, number 9, cornerback and a strong safety. There you see the indication from Tom Quinn, the referee.
Well, you can see here where the ball's a little bit underthrown, and one of the defenders, I can't see the number there, but they're saying he deflected the ball, which he did, and then if the ball is deflected, that becomes a question whether or not it is pass interference or not. But as my man Bob Pickens steps off 15 yards, he's the umpire tonight's
pass
crew.
Hawkeyes
maybe catch a break on that one.
Big Bob Pickens played with you at the Bears, huh?
That's right. Charles McCree, the defensive back, he was the one that came over there and said to the official, hey, that ball's deflected. But again, the Hawkeyes luck out.
Pickens has got the build of one of those umpires, doesn't he? 6 of 6 for Hartley, 71 yards. 1st down at the Gopher 43. Here's a double handoff. Sean Smith on the reverse to the 40, the 35, and a 1st down at the 31. 12-yard gain on the flanker around. Joel Stantz, a linebacker, makes the tackle.
There's a nice play. It tossed to Saunders. Saunders hands it back to Sean Smith going the other way. Minnesota has been pretty active up front in pursuit, and I'm sure the Hawkeye coaching staff saw where they were slanting one way or the other, but for sure the way they were going after the football and those tosses, that's a great way to bring it back against that pressure and pick up some nice yardage.
Gain of 12. 1st down. Hand it to Bass, and he is into about the 26. 1st downs, Iowa 8, Minnesota with 2.
Yeah, that's Nick Bell in there now. Ron just came in at fullback, ran the ball. The big guy that's gotten a lot of playing time this year and has really taken advantage of it, doing a nice job as a pass catcher as well as a good hard runner, and for sure he's improving all the time with his blocking.
I got to talk about that signal that Mike just gave me on that. That was a new signal for Mike. Here's a he gets to the 26-yard line. It was Saunders. Mike reached over and kind of shook his hand with his fingers down, and I thought, I hadn't seen that one before in 19 years working with this guy. That's ringing the bell, right?
It's called charades, a little bell. Yeah, there you go.
It was Bell, not Bass.
There you see the handoff to Saunders that time, but good effort by Minnesota to stop dead cold.
3rd down and 5 at the 26 of Minnesota for the Hawkeyes. Hartley going to throw it. He does, out of the left, not complete. He was intending for Marv Cook at the 20. Well, it brings up 4th down.
Well, some good coverage that time. Joel Brown, strong safety. He had responsibility for Marv Cook. He stayed with him all the way in a man-to-man coverage. You'll watch it here as the ball's throwing. You'll see Joel Brown right next to Marv Cook. And the pass would have had to been absolutely perfect to get it in there because Brown was all over him.
It'll be a 44-yard attempt, 43-yard attempt. Spotted at the 33 for Jeff Skillett. Spot is down. The kick is up high enough, far enough, and it is no good. It's off to the side, off to the left. Time out of the field. Back after this. Minnesota 1st down. Here's Schaffner to the air. It is not complete. And he had Octavius Gould as the intended receiver.
That's right, and Gould was out there all by himself coming out of the backfield. That's linebacker coverage. They had a little play action to hold the linebackers in, and Gould was able to get out past the linebackers. On that side, it was Brad Quast. Ball was thrown behind him. He was wide open.
2nd down and 10. And there are the total yards. 122 to 73. 2nd and 10, Minnesota from its own 26. 6-3 game. To the right side, they give to Fred Foggy, who's in there as the tailback. And Foggy picks up 3 yards to the 29. And it'll be 3rd down and 7 now for the Gophers, just across the 29.
Well, Darrell Thompson, the outstanding tailback for Minnesota. We certainly haven't seen him yet. And that's, I'm sure, the case where in warm-ups his foot was sore and couldn't run, or his leg was sore. So they're probably going to rest him tonight, not to hurt him anymore.
Here is Schaffner with the chase on. Going to go to the sideline, got to keep it, and steps out of bounds at the 30. So he's going to get a yard, and it'll be 3rd down and 6 now. 4th down.
You can see some great pressure coming from the right side. Mike Burke right there forces. I think they wanted to come on a sprint out action that side, but Burke took an inside move and got across there so quickly. Schaffner no chance to set up and look downfield. Good pressure by Burke.
Brent Herbel is in to do the kicking. Schaffner 2 out of 5 now, 20 yards, the Minnesota quarterback. And Peter Marciano standing back at his 30 to handle Brent Herbel's punt. He's a 38-yard average punter, hangs it high. Marciano at the 26 starts out, gets it to the 30, gets a block, and out of bounds on the sideline at the 38. So Peter Marciano gets a 12-yard return.
Well, I tell you, that's some good coverage by Minnesota, and the reason I'll tell you is as they were coming down the field, the Hawkeyes had set up a return to that side, and the last couple times the Hawkeyes been up here, a lot of people remember Billy Happel running a punt return back for a touchdown. 2 years ago, Marciano ran one back. Good effort that time by the Hawkeyes, but also a great effort by Minnesota that they didn't let that wall really form, and they were able to get there, but it was awfully close. A couple key blocks over there might have sprung Peter Marciano for a big one.
Yeah, remember that one, Mike? He had an 89-yarder here for a touchdown 2 years ago.
You bet.
1st down, they pitch it to Saunders up through a crack, and he gets to the 41. And it was Ron Getz, a linebacker for the Gophers, who flagged him. There it is. It's the end of the 1st quarter. 6-3. Iowa leads it. We'll be back with 2nd quarter action after this break for our local station.
At the blitz coming again. That's a great checkoff.
Gain of 8. The Hawks lead it 6-3. 14 minutes left in the 1st half. 1st down at the Gopher 46. Hartlieb on the back pedal, throws it, not complete. His receiver had fallen down. Marv Cook at the Gopher 35. And we have a Hawkeye who's shaken up back here.
It's Rob Baxley, left tackle. He's playing in there for Bob Cratch, who's been hurt. He got hurt a couple weeks ago, came back and played a little bit last week. There in the replay, you can see Marv Cook going to the turf. And I'll tell you what, even Marv Cook, as he's going to the turf, he was still looking to try and make that catch.
Rob Baxley, 6'5", 265 pounds, a sophomore from Montgomery, Illinois. That's Ed Crowley, the football trainer that you see on the left. So with 13:50 left here in the 1st half, 6-3 Iowa. We'll be back after these messages on the Hawkeye Sports Network. And 10 at the Gopher 46 for the Hawkeyes, who lead it 6-3. Hartlieb giving to Saunders, and he gets to the 42. There's a fumble and a scramble. Looks like the Gophers might have the football. Let's see what we've got.
Well, let's see what we have, because nobody's making any indication one way or the other if the ball was popped loose from the ground. You see Richard Bass there with the football, so I know the Minnesota players got excited, pointing to their way. The ball was down. It popped loose when it hit the ground. I tell you, that rule's interesting. Let's watch it here. Here you can see Mike Saunders coming up. Pretty good hole, but a good play there. But there you see the ball pop loose, and I think he was down on the ground. No question about that.
At the 41 for a 5-yard gain. 3rd down and 5. Baxley going off with what looked like a knee. There have been or will be 17 knee operations on this Iowa team. There will be 3 more tomorrow. 14 of them so far. Brother. 3rd down and 5 for the Hawks. From the Gopher 41, and now Iowa wants a timeout. So timeout on the field with 13:17 left here in the half. Iowa up by a score of 6-3. And we'll be back after these messages on the Hawkeye Sports Network. Hawkeye football fans who are interested in purchasing tickets to the Peach Bowl featuring the Iowa Hawkeyes and North Carolina State should contact the Iowa Athletic Ticket Office at 319-335-9431. Third down play for Hartlieb. He throws, and it is complete to Saunders at the 25 to the 20, and he's bumped out of bounds inside the 15 at the 13. And a first down for the Hawkeyes on a big gainer.
And if I didn't see what happened over there, there's a flag being thrown. I don't know if it's personal foul or Saunders threw the ball. We'll see it here at the end of the play. But watch, Saunders comes out of the backfield. You can see him going through the screen there. In full stride, a perfect shot by Hartlieb. Saunders at full speed, cutting up. Puts the shoulder down. Tries to, well, let's see what happens here now. And a pushing and an extra shoving, but we haven't seen a signal out here yet either as far as what the penalty is.
It's a 28-yard play to the 13-yard line. It was Joel Brown, the strong safety, guy who has 4 interceptions to lead the Gophers and also has 3 fumbles recovered. A senior from Peyton, Colorado.
There it is now. They just moved off half the distance to the goal. Saunders went out at the 14-yard line. And then they call a personal foul. You watch it here. You can see the Minnesota player. Looks like he might have his face mask. But then he gives him an extra push and shove outside. So it's half the distance to the goal. So the Hawkeyes first and goal on the 6.5, 7-yard line.
Saunders and Bass in there in the I formation. They send Harberts wide to the left. They give off to Bass. He's inside the 5 to the 4. And Bass picks up 2. It was Max Stevens, a linebacker, along with Ron Getz, the other linebacker, who came in for the Gophers to bulldog him down.
That's right. A good job by Minnesota that time, standing the Hawkeye offensive lineman up and sliding with him. Bass trying to find an opening in there. Really couldn't. The linebackers from Minnesota filled pretty well. Held them to a couple-yard gain.
So it'll be second down, goal to go at the Gopher 4-yard line. Hawkeyes lead it 6-3. Harbert's way wide to the left, number 16, 22 Smith in the gap. Bell leaning in there. Make sure he's got things straight. He gets the handoff into the middle. He goes down to the 1 for Nick Bell. And a gain of 3. Hartlieb is 8 out of 10 in his passing here. 105 yards so far. Was Joel Statz, a linebacker, a true freshman from Winona, who stopped him.
And Nick Bell taking that ball, not really finding the hole by himself, but look at a couple good cutbacks. Big, strong guy able to step up through there for roughly 3 yards. So Hawkeyes once again, third down and goal at the 1-yard line.
Third down, goal to go at the 1-yard line for the Hawkeyes. Power I formation. Saunders, Bass, and Bell. They give it to Saunders. He leaps, and he's in for the touchdown. His second touchdown of the game. Another 1-yarder for Mike Saunders. And the Hawkeyes this time drive at 62 yards for the score.
Well, the Hawkeyes have moved the ball every time they got their hands on it. The opening drive for a touchdown, second one missed field goal, this time for a touch. There you see Mike Saunders really taking advantage of his first start here as a Hawkeye. We'll see it one more time. There he is, diving in the end zones. Second start.
Saunders
going for 2, excuse me, Rick. Yeah, Rick's giving me a couple signals there. I didn't know if he was saying that Mike Saunders started 2 games, but I'm sure it's 1. But yes, the Hawkeyes are going to go for 2 here. The fact that Skillett missed the field goal or the extra point after the Hawkeyes' first touchdown.
Saunders, 10 carries, 39 yards, 2 touchdowns. Bell alone in the backfield. Missouri, number 40, wide to the right in the slot formation to the right. It is Bell, and doesn't look like he's got it. They stop him down there at the goal line, driving back. So there it is, 11:38 left, and the Hawkeyes on top, 12-3. Back after these messages on the Hawkeye Sports Network. Hawkeyes move it 62 yards in 9 plays for the score.
You can see kind of the option type of, or not the counter type of play that the Hawkeyes ran, trying to get it in there for the 2 points. Start going to the left side as you're looking at it from the offensive side, then cutting back to the right, hoping that you can get through there against that flow. 9 plays, 62 yards. So the Hawkeyes are right around the 200-yard mark here in this first half.
Chris Gators at the 9. to the 20. Out to the 30, shifts, and is brought down on a solo tackle at the 34. So he got it out there for a 23-yard return, and was Greg Brown, a cornerback, on the kick coverage.
And Peter Marciano in there also. For Gators, he's quite a back, bringing that ball up there. You watch him here trying to cut all the way across the field. But couldn't quite get around. Excuse me, Greg Brown is right. Stop him at the 33.
11:30 left in this first half. They give it to Fred Foggy, and he comes to the 35, just short of it, a gain of a couple. And it was Joe Mott, the defensive end, who made the play for the Hawkeyes and yanked them down. 12-3, Iowa leads it. An 83-yard drive and a 62-yard drive. Minnesota's got a 27-yard field goal. Pat Hart is the injured player for the Gophers. 6'3", 256, and a senior from Andover, Minnesota, a center. And the Minnesota trainer is down there seeing to him right now. There are a number of things here tonight that Chuck Hartley can accomplish. Season record chances in a lot of areas.
There you see the last play. Handoff in there to Fred Foggy. The Hawkeye defensive line doing a tough job. You can see Dave Haight, number one, in there stacking things up to make Foggy try and veer off. It gives somebody else a chance to pick up and make the tackle.
Hartley needs 13 pass attempts to break Chuck Long's record of 388. In completions, he needs 26 to break Long's record of 260, and in passing yards, he needs 266 to break Long's record of 3,297. There you have Pat Hart being helped off, and Hartley so far has 10 pass attempts for 105 yards.
And the Hawkeye offense, a total of 196 yards, right around that 200 mark with that last drive of 62 yards. They had 134 in the first quarter. But the Hawkeyes only have 12 points on the board for a pretty good execution so far on the offensive side. Not being able to execute on a couple extra points and a missed field goal.
Pat Evans is in there at center for Minnesota. 2nd down and 8. Schaffner going to scramble. Dave Haight's got the chase on him, and now he stops, gets a block, and gets out of bounds. Jeff Keppel had the last shot at him. Number 51, the defensive tackle, ranging to the sideline.
Well, they're trying to set up a screen that time. Maybe we'll get a chance to see it here. I think we will. I believe it's Mike Burke that read that. You can see as Schaffner goes to the right. Now he gets chased. He was looking to the left, back to the left to dump it off. But there it was. Mike Burke, he read it. He read it all the way. And he knew that they're trying to come back with that screen pass.
Going to be a loss of 7. 3rd down at the 28 of Minnesota. 3rd down and 15 yards to go for the first down. They're in setbacks with Schaffner back in there to throw it to the sideline, and it is complete to the tight end, Otto, and he squirms out of bounds in between a couple of Hawkeye tacklers at the 41. Greg Brown is the one who got to him first at cornerback.
Well, it's a good completion here. Schaffner to Otto over on the left side. But good coverage by the Hawkeyes, keeping him in front and then being able to come up and make the hit. See Brian Weiss almost getting a hand on it, but the Hawkeyes are able to keep him short of that first down mark and now forcing a punt situation.
11-yard gain. Brent Herbel is in to kick for Minnesota, and Peter Marciano once again standing back inside his 20-yard line. Herbel, a junior from Grafton, North Dakota. Here's the punt away. It's a short one and a wobbler. Going to bounce at the 30. Marciano stops it at the 20, comes to the 28, and they boom him down. Timeout on the field. We'll be back after this.
Field didn't look like he was limping. 10:45 left here in the second quarter. The Hawkeyes get good field position once more. They've moved the ball well every possession that they've had.
Hartley intercepted by Ron Getz of the Gophers. It went over the hands of Mick Bell, and Ron Getz, a linebacker for the Gophers, is the guy who picked it off at the Hawkeye 33, I believe it'll be.
Now, wait a minute, we're still talking out there as far as a possible penalty against somebody, but we haven't seen a signal yet. We're going to see it now. There's a illegal use of the hands against Minnesota. But as you reported there, Ron, the ball is trying to set up a screen pass. Nope, now wait a minute.
On the off.
Oh, there we go. Declined, and you'll see it here. Trying to set up the screen pass. It was there, too. He throws it off there to Dick Bell after Dick has done such a great job picking off for catching those types of passes. Slipped right through his fingers, and Minnesota player there to create a turnover for the Hawkeyes. Big break for Minnesota.
So first break of the football game with 10:39 left in the first half. Minnesota's got it at the Hawkeye 33. Scott Schaffner, number 15, is the quarterback. Octavius Gould, number 32 at fullback. 23 is Terry Stewart, who gets the handoff, goes to the outside, flag is down, gets to the 29, and he picked up 4.
That's right. Officials saw it. Everybody saw it. Even Mark Jennings saw it. Holding out there on the left side. Mike Burke was being held, it looked like, by number 84, the tight end, Craig Otto.
It was Jim Riley who unloaded him, though, on the tackle.
Here you might have a good chance of seeing it here. Right out at the corner. There it is. And they see son Jim then come over and get a piece of him along with Greg Brown.
Here comes Tom Quinn out to indicate.
Repeat first down.
So they'll set him back to the 43. And now it'll be first down and 20 for Minnesota from its own, or rather from the Hawkeye 43-yard line. It's a 12-3 game. The Hawkeyes on top. 10.5 left in this first half. Minnesota's got Jason Bruce out to the left. He comes in motion as Schaffner throws over the middle, complete to Gould out of the backfield, the fullback, and they bring him down at the 35. And that will be a gain of 8. Schaffner to Gould. Greg Brown, a cornerback, a sophomore from Iowa City, is the man who wrapped him up.
Here it is again, just a dump off pattern. Hawkeyes playing pass all the way. First down and 20. You can see him dump it to the back, coming out of the backfield. Good converging here in the part of Brown, Quast, and son Jim. Picked up 9 yards.
Second down and 11 for Minnesota. Terry Stewart, and he's off left tackle, not much there, and he got a couple yards to the 33. And it was Joe Mott, the left defensive end, Dave Haight, the middle guard, who make the tackle for the Hawks.
There you see the fullback leading up the play with the pulling guard going up also. Dave Haight coming off the block, making a good play. Ron Gator, you mentioned also, coming off his block to hold him to a yard gain is all.
Third down and 10 at the Hawkeye 33 with 9:09 left, and the Hawks on top 12-3. Skillett missed his first extra point of the season. Schaffner throws. It is batted away, almost intercepted by the Hawkeyes down inside the 15-yard line. It was Keaton Smiley, number 44, who almost had it.
It was more than almost intercepted. It was almost a great completion to Chris Gators. 2 Hawkeye defenders there, and Gators cut right in front of him. Watch this. You see Keaton Smiley backing up, and then Gators makes a great move to the football. Either one of the Hawkeyes, I think, even hit him. It just said he went up and couldn't handle the ball. Now you see some line play up front, what they're doing with Dave Haight, double teaming him just like everybody else does.
50-yard field goal try by Brent Berglund. Spot is down, the kick is up, and it is good. A 50-yard field goal by Brent Berglund for Minnesota with 8:52 left in the first half, and the Gophers now trail by a score of 12-6. So that was a pretty fine effort, Mike.
Well, it certainly was. 50 yards. You can't beat that. Once again, the Hawkeye defense, though, after the turnover, did their job, and that is to keep Minnesota out of the end zone, forced them into a field goal, and you can't say they did much more than they did that. They got that part of the job done, and the Minnesota executed, knocked it in between the goalposts for the 3 points. So the Hawkeyes here with a 12-6 lead isn't very safe at this point, because the Hawkeyes have been basically dominant as far as the way they've been able to move the ball, but they've been able to get in the end zone twice. They couldn't. The first extra point was missed. They went for 2 in the second touchdown, plus the field goal's been missed. So It's the old story once again. It's kind of a weird year for the Hawkeyes. They just haven't been able to put that knockout punch on a lot of people. And they just haven't been able to get it done on a consistent basis. It's too bad because it's a great bunch of Hawkeyes that are fighting hard all the time, but it's one of those years.
That is Berglund's longest field goal of the year. His previous longest field goal was 46 yards. He has 2 of those. And the scoring drive, 0 yards in 4 plays. Mark Jennings says that's easy to figure. They took over at the Hawk 33, and because of the 10-yard hold, they wound up there. Out comes Davis, out to the 30 where they whack him down. And it was Ben Williams, a linebacker, who stopped him.
There goes a flag again. Some extra pushing after the play. I don't know which one of the Hawkeyes was involved. Maybe we'll get a chance to see it here. You see Davis come up, take quite a shot. And then the Hawkeyes and a couple Gophers start pushing a little bit extra. So we're going to see what happened. Referee lost his hat.
The NCAA Division I field hockey national semifinal, Iowa 2, Northwestern nothing. And so now Iowa plays Old Dominion tomorrow for the national championship. And this Hawkeye women's field hockey team has won that national championship before, so they're going for it again.
That's right. Some great players on that field hockey team. Erica Richards,
Offsetting.
all Big Ten, set a Big Ten scoring record. She's quite a player.
Now Charlie linebacker is really impressing me here. He's rattling off the field hockey
I went over and watched the second half of the field hockey game the other day, last Saturday.
Wouldn't be because son Jim goes with a field hockey player
named Erica Richards. There you go.
Personal foul was the call. Both sides, and so it's offsetting. That is Saunders, and Saunders gets a couple of yards, the 32 to the 33. So it'll be 2nd down and 7 for the Hawkeyes from the 33.
Well, you wonder about the Hawkeyes. We talked so many times about the disruption in that offensive line. You got Bob Schmidt now that did start at left guard. He's moved out to left tackle because of the injury to Baxley. And Dave Turner in there at left guard, fairly unexperienced. He's played some and has played pretty well. But boy, when you can't keep the same people out there on a regular basis, you never get that continuity and feel for it.
Give it to Saunders. A flag goes down as he was rolled down in the corner at the 35. And Charles McCree, the left cornerback, a senior from Bolingbrook, Illinois, is the one who reeled him in for Minnesota.
That's right. And there's going to be a holding penalty, I'm afraid, against the Hawkeyes. Travis Watkins out here at the wide receiver trying to put a block on. Maybe you can see it here. There he is at the top of your screen. But anyway, whoever he was holding, the official was right there, threw the flag right at his feet. And we'll see if the Hawkeyes, or what Minnesota does, that is, on this penalty.
Like the guy who was trying to hold was number 3, Charles McCree, the guy who wound up making the tackle. And Pat Quinn and the officials are sorting it out now. Chuck Hartley there, and
Holding.
here's the indication from Quinn.
Repeat 2nd down. It will be a spot foul.
Well, the Hawkeyes one more time with the big penalty. In the previous quarter, when the Hawkeyes were on the move and had a 15-yard penalty for a crackback block or a clip, that really hurt them. They ended up missing the field goal, but there's the penalties right now. So far, Hawkeyes have 2 for 25, both pretty good sizes, but you see Minnesota there also with a couple of necessary roughness or personal foul penalties.
2nd down and 17 for the Hawks from their own 23. Hartley throws. It's complete to Cook, and he's bumped on the sideline and goes down across the 35. It was James King, the right cornerback, a redshirt freshman from Watertown, Minnesota. He's the one who checked him.
And you watch Marv Cook now coming across the middle of the screen. There he is, running out in that flat, the favorite pattern of the Hawkeyes, and for sure the combination of Hartley to Cook. Marv lowers his shoulder and bounces up there for a couple more yards.
Going to be 3rd down and 3 from the 37. It's a 14-yard play. Harbert's number 16 to the left, and a pair of twins set out to the right. Watkins and and Sean Smith, 2 and 22, with Nick Bell alone in the backfield. Hartlieb shovels it to Bell, makes a cut, and trying to fight for that first down. He has to get to the 40 and does not make it, of course. Got back to the line of scrimmage, and that was it. And Gary Isaacson, a defensive tackle, along with Ross Uckelberg, the other defensive tackle, they were the ones who pinched him and brought him down.
That's right. Skeeter Acre got across there, number 80, real quickly. That's the same play that the Hawkeyes had run before. The quick toss, anticipating the blitz. That time, though, Minnesota did a good job on containment, forced him back to the inside for no gain.
First Iowa punt of the game, a low snap, and Adams gets it away. Gators won't field it.
Yeah, what happened is the snap was a little bit low, and it skipped. It looked like it skipped off the ground. And when Adams went down to field it, he had a knee on the ground. So they're saying he was down. The knee was on the ground when he had the ball. So there's a big play, turnover-wise, against the Hawkeyes. There you see it. One more time from this angle. Let's see if we can see that ball. I think it just skips a little bit, but there's the knee on the ground as he caught the snap from center.
At the 29 of the Hawkeyes. So the Gophers got it at the 33 and got a field goal. Now they're at the Hawk 29. Gould and Stewart in the I formation behind Schaffner. And the Gophers smell a wounded whale here. Here's Schaffner with the throw, and it is complete. And down he goes. And that is Chris Gators inside the 15, tackled by Merton Hanks.
That's right. Watch the protection now that Schaffner has. Sits there, looks down the field, has good time to throw the ball. The curl-in pattern between the linebackers. And the Minnesota Gophers on the move here. We talked so many times about sure the Hawkeyes should come up here and dominate this game, but you can never know what's going to happen in this interstate rivalry, especially when you're up here. Minnesota gets on a roll.
17-yard gain. They give it to Gould, the fullback, straight ahead, and he got to about the 10.5, and a gain of 1, and it'll be 2nd down and 9. They can get to the 2-yard line for first down. Brad Quast is the first guy there for the Hawkeyes from a linebacker spot. He's the number 2 guy in the Iowa tackle chart with 109 total tackles coming into the game. A 240-pound junior from Des Plaines, Illinois. That's Scott Schaffner, the quarterback for Minnesota. 55% passer, came in here with 1,096 yards. 2nd down play. Schaffner pop pass, not complete. Threw it behind Chris Gators, wide receiver. And right. Keaton Smiley was there, number 44.
Well, Merton Hanks also, but the one that you probably couldn't see is Brad Quast. He read this. You might see him here. He drops back into that area right now, and watch this. He thought, he did get a hand on it.
Man.
Keaton Smiley doing the primary coverage, and there you can see Brad Quast say, should catch those kind with a delicate linebacker hand.
Yeah, those linebackers usually do catch those with those delicate hands. He leads Iowa in interceptions with 3. Now it's 3rd down and 9. Schaffner once again to the end zone. Gators, it's complete, a touchdown! Flag down! Beat Greg Brown over there in the left corner of the end zone, but a flag is down!
Well, we'll have to wait and see. We're going to get the signal here. Offside against Iowa, so it will be a touchdown. So the Gophers take advantage of a big break. The low snap from center on the punt, but as Adams went down to field it, he had his knee down, and so when the knee touches and you're in possession of the ball, it was spotted right there. So Minnesota takes advantage of that. There you see a great diving catch. Good throw by Schaffner. Greg Brown getting beat on an in cut and then out to the corner. So Minnesota taking advantage of a break here. Ties the game.
Here's the kick. Spot is down for Berglund. It's up, and it is good. So with 5:15 left here in this first half, the Gophers now have taken the lead 13-12. And Schaffner has now hit 6 out of 11 for 63 yards and a touchdown. And Minnesota didn't have far to go. They took the ball over at the Hawkeye 29-yard line, and in 4 plays they had themselves the touchdown.
You're going to watch it here again. Good protection for Schaffner. And then he threw it out there. Looked like it might have been overthrown a bit, but you can see how badly Brown was beaten. But look at the diving catch by Chris Gators. Hung on to it, going to the turf. So the Hawkeyes have their work cut out for them here. 5:15 left in the second quarter. They definitely have enough time to correct it in some problems, hopefully, in that offense, and keep some drives going, sustain those drives, keep moving.
That's John Gutekunst, the Minnesota coach, in his third season here. He coached one game in Lou Holtz's final season. Coached the bowl game. Now Jeff Geyer will kick off, and the Hawkeyes with Saunders, or rather Smith, and Davis back deep. Hits the turf into the end zone as Smith lets it go. And the officials are constantly guarding these two teams. There's a lot of feeling here between these two teams. We've seen a little shoving and hauling already in this first half. And there's the scoring drive, but 4 plays. And the 11-yard pass to Gators for the score. And Gators, the leading receiver on this Minnesota team, coming in here with 38 catches. And he's an outstanding kickoff returner and punt returner. Ranks high in the Big Ten stats in both of those categories.
And Rob Baxley back in there at left tackle. Good to see that. He went off with couldn't tell, an ankle or a knee injury, but he's back in there.
So with 5:15 left, the Hawks at their own 20. Hartley throwing down the middle. It is intercepted at the 35-yard line by Charles McCree, number 3, a senior, Bolingbrook, Illinois, a cornerback, and once again, Minnesota's got it at the Hawkeye 35-yard line. Oh, brother.
That's right. Turnovers will kill you, just like penalties kill drives. You'll see it here. Chuck Hartley trying to find Devin Harberts on that pattern curling in from the upper part of the screen. Looks like it's pretty well zipped, but boy, there you see, stepping in front, McCree. And Devin Harberts makes the tackle. McCree, if he wasn't tackled right there, had a lot of running room.
First down, Minnesota at the Hawk 35. Schaffner to the sideline, complete to Otto, the tight end. Not a first down at the 28. That's a 7-yard play, and with that pass, it was intercepted on Hartley. That was his 13th pass of the game, and he does tie Chuck Long's record for pass attempts.
And there's a quick out pattern. Otto, that's a big tight end, well thrown ball, able to catch it, drop straight down, feet in bounds, and then he stepped out. So Hawkeye defense, they have their work cut out for them.
Not the time to mention that record, I guess. Everybody at home saying, brother. Here is Octavius Gould through a hole, wrapped up from behind by Jim Riley at the 14. A 14-yard gain by the fullback Gould on a solo tackle by Jim Riley.
Well, you can see the blocking up front here. They go after Dave Haight. They come through with the back, I think it was. They got Brad Quast. Quast couldn't recover. Then Keaton Smiley tries to contain it, and he does for Jim to come over, but quite a ways down the field. First down on the 13. Gophers on the move. You're seeing an inspired Gopher team really getting after it right now.
Trying to cash in on the third big break for them in this half. Schaffner, a looping pass, not complete. He had Gators covered by Keaton Smiley, number 44. And he was trying to alley-oop him a little bit.
You see it there, you're right. Just alley-oop it out there. Gators ran a similar type pattern with more open field on that left side to beat Greg Brown last time the Gophers were down here. This time is a little bit overthrown. Keaton Smiley, a pretty tight coverage that time.
They can get a first down at the 3-yard line. And it looked like it might have been a fumble there. It was.
Right, just an exchange from center. Schaffner couldn't get the handle on it. And after wrestling with a little bit, just fell on it to keep control of that ball.
At the 13, Terry Stewart, the tailback for Minnesota, 7 carries, 63 yards. So now it's 3rd down and 10 for Minnesota at the Hawkeye 13. Gardner on a tight roll, throws to the corner, and it is intercepted by the Hawkeyes, by Merton Hanks. He's out to the 25-yard line. Oh, he ran into a big block of people who ran out of it. Down the sideline he goes, and he's rolled down at the Minnesota 28-yard line, but a flag is down back up the field.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's going to be a call against the Hawkeyes trying to block number 67 there for Minnesota coming off, James Lennon, J.J. Lennon. What a great effort by Hanks, taking that ball in the end zone and running it out of there. It looked like he was swarmed on right about the 40-yard line, but was able to break out of the pack and still get it downfield. But I think that's going to be called back. Not that the Hawkeyes will lose the ball. It's just going to be brought back to that point and move back 10 yards, or 15 yards probably, for a clip at that spot in the field. There you see it. Personal foul. Oh, just personal foul, not a clip. So whoever or whatever, maybe we can see it here. Watch Hanks go up. This is a great interception. Goes high, catches the fingertips, regains his balance.
It's fun to watch here.
Boy, watch this. Watch how he gets swarmed in right about here. And oh boy, all of a sudden he's out running again. We're not going to see what the personal foul was, and maybe that's best that we don't.
He goes 71 yards to the Gopher 29, and of course the record is 94, tied by Brad Quast against Kansas State when he tied Bobby Stern's record way back in 54.
Well, we're going to get another angle on it now, and we'll see if we can see what happened out there at the 38-yard line. Well, they're not going to show it all the way back, but regardless, the Hawkeyes dodged that bullet after turning the ball over. But an interception to get it back for the offense. Now the offense still with 3:41 here in the second quarter has plenty of time to move her down the field.
First down at the 22 of Iowa. Hartley with lots of time. Throws it. And it is complete out of the backfield. And it's out to the 31. Complete to Nick Bell. And it was Max Stevens, a linebacker, who hooked him down for Minnesota. Not a first down, and it's short by about a yard and a half.
Here's the play again, the dump off to the back, coming out of the backfield. You get a guy like Nick Bell that can run with it, especially with his strength. That's a good play.
Rob Baxley is back in for Iowa. He went out a while ago with an injury. Hartley throws, it's complete, and it's a first down for the Hawkeyes as they roll a receiver down. Harbert's at the 39, and a gain of 8. Harberts has really come on here, hasn't he, Mike, in recent weeks?
Excuse me, Ron, but yes, the Hawkeyes in a hurry-up offense here. 2:59 left in the half. One thing the Hawkeyes do a great job of is anytime they have the hurry-up offense or the 2-minute offense or what do you want to call it, they've always been able to move the ball on a pretty regular basis.
First down. Their own 39. Hartley steps up into it, throws. It is complete to Smith, and he's down to the 45 and didn't get out of bounds, and it's a 6-yard gain. 2:32 left here in this first half. 13-12, Minnesota on top.
Pretty good outside pressure that time. They just saw Hartley step up between the pressure, and just with a little flip of the wrist, got it out to Smith. Smith should be thinking about getting out of bounds.
Second down and 4. Hartley steps up in, throws complete to Cook, and they nail him right at the spot. And he does not have a first down. They get him at the 49. It was Joel Statz, a linebacker, 6'3", 231, a true freshman from Winona, who stopped him about 1.5 feet short of the first down. At the Gopher 49. It'll bring up third down. They shovel it to Bell. He's got Divis out in front. He's got the first down by plenty as he moves to the Gopher 41.
And they'll stop the clock here to move the chains. 1:37 left here in the second half, or second quarter, excuse me.
Charles McCree is the one who made the tackle on Bell just across the Gopher 42, and now we've got a timeout asked for. Hayden Fry going to get himself organized here as you see him with the shades on here at the Metrodome on the sideline.
That's right, and the Hawkeyes still have 2 timeouts left after that one, I believe. Minnesota has all 3 of theirs remaining. But the Hawkeyes once again responding, taking advantage of the interception by Hanks with a great defensive effort down there to keep Minnesota off the board after they had capitalized on the previous one. So the Hawkeye offense would be great for them to put something on the board here before halftime and then go in and sit down and talk about a few things as a team to come out and play inspired football in the second half and hopefully take control of the game.
Hartley 13 out of 17 now, 144 yards in this game. The Hawkeyes at the Gopher just across the 42. And they have 1 minute and 37 left here in a 13-12 game. Minnesota, which has gotten 2 field goals from Berglund, 27 and 50 yards, and a Schaffner to Gators 11-yard pass play. Hayden Fry with the arms folded. Mike Saunders behind him. Mazzari number 40 to his right there. And the Hawkeye fans here, some 15,000 of them, start to set up a little bit of a stir with Harberts out to the left. Now Smith comes from the right in motion to the left side. Hartley throwing, it is complete and out of bounds on a diving catch by Travis Watkins. A first down inside the 25 at the 24.
That's a great throw and catch. Watch this. You'll see Travis Watkins keep his feet inbounds, dive out there, right there, has 1 foot inbounds as he catches it. That's all you need in college, and fell out of bounds.
That was an 18-yard play. First down on the 24. Pitch it back to Bell, makes his cut, wrap him up from behind, and rather it was Richard Bass, not Bell.
Boy, that official down the outside, or the deep outside official, he's calling again. I think he's going to call that crackback block again against the Hawkeyes. That's 3 times now the Hawkeyes have been caught with some type of infringement, whether it be holding or a crackback or a clip. There it is, crackback block below the knees. So that's going to hurt.
Blocking below the waist against Iowa.
Marv Cook in this game has 4 receptions for 34 yards. He needs 5 more to tie the record. He's nearing the Big Ten season record mark for tight ends. And he needs 9 to tie Dave Young of Purdue back in 1980, who had 51 catches. So they're still talking it over down there, the officials. Tom Quinn, now he's going to come over here and
they're going to mark it off. But I tell you what, I've never seen officials group together like that and take so long to decide who's going to maybe run the ball down the field or who's going to step it off. Or, you know, the referee's going to come over and give us a signal as far as the infringement, but it takes an awfully long time for him to decide.
So back to the 39-yard line of Minnesota. Hartley with a first down and a mile, and it's not complete. That was Nick Bell, and the coverage by Mike Sunvold, a defensive end, and the Hawk fans didn't like that.
Boy, that's right. Coming with the blitz that time, the outside linebacker Ron Getz came up and really put a hit on Nick Bell before the ball got there. That's what Hayden Fry is talking to the official about. Obviously, he's not winning the battle.
So it'll be second down and 25 for the Hawks at the Gopher 39. Here, take another look at it.
Might get a chance to see the hit before the ball gets there. Well, the hit had already been made.
Hartley back to throw again. Throws complete and down short of the first down, and that is Harberts, and it was James King, a cornerback, who was there to cover him as he was right down on the spot, down on his knees, making the catch, as you saw, at the 27. It's a 12-yard play, and it's third down and 13 to go for the first down. They have to get to the 14. Hartley starts to roll, gets the block from Bell. Now the hunt is on, and down he goes. They sack him for the first time tonight, back at the 40-yard line of Minnesota.
Well, they came with the blitz again, trying to get some pressure on Chuck Hartley, and they obviously got that job done. He was looking downfield, didn't have anybody open, but then the pressure got to him on his right side. There he looks one more time, but nobody open. So he had a tough time. Had to hang on that ball and drop it.
Solo tackle by Max Stevens. Max Stevens was the 12th man on the field in 1986 when Iowa won up here on that Rob Hotland field goal. And he's having a great season as a junior now, number 2 on their tackle chart with 103 stops, and he's the guy who wrapped him up there.
And you can see it once again there in that replay that Chuck had nobody to throw it to downfield, and the pressure was there, and he didn't have the speed to turn it upfield. He didn't have time even to turn it upfield and throw it in the area of one of the receivers. Some big plays by the Gophers here in this second quarter. There was a big one. Instead of, even if they had an incomplete pass, that is the Hawkeyes, and the Gophers held them, at least they'd have a chance at a field goal attempt. But now I think you're going to see the Hawkeyes. I don't see Skillett coming out. I do see Chuck Hartley coming back out. I have to believe the Hawkeyes are going to take it, throw it deep down the field. 6 seconds to go. One play left here in the half. Let's see if the Hawkeyes luck out maybe and have something good happen to them.
4th and 25 at the Gopher 39. 13-12, Minnesota on top. And the Hawkeyes break out of the huddle with Baxley on the left with Dave Turner. Anderson the center. Divis on the right side along with Miller. Here's Hartley with the protection from that group. Throws toward the end zone. He's got a man down there, not complete. Harberts he had, and also Marv Cook was down there in the end zone, and time is gone here in the first half. So they broke it up.
They sure did. And it was a desperation type of play, but there you have it. Minnesota 13-12. A little bit of a surprise at halftime.
We'll be back with halftime after this message on the Hawkeye Sports Network.
That's right. There you see where the Hawkeyes have played awfully well in third quarter, but this will be a key series for the Hawkeyes. I got to believe Hayden Fry and the staff talked to this team and said, hey, you want to come out and play flat the second half? You're going to get beat. You better get going and get this thing rolling.
Here's Saunders and trying to get away with a stiff arm, wriggled away and got a couple more yards, got out to the 26 and a gain of 6, and he is short by a yard of the first down.
Good individual effort that time by Saunders coming to the outside. You'll get a chance to see it running right at you. They go to it looks like it's a play to the right, then they cut it back to the other side, but watch this, 2 guys on him right there. The other guy takes a swipe at him and he stumbles forward for about 3 or 4 more yards to make it 3rd down and short yardage.
That was James King, a cornerback. Max Stevens, a linebacker, who made the tackle. 3rd and a yard. They pitch it to Saunders, makes the cut. He's got the first down out to the 29. Saunders with a 3-yard pickup. 13-12 game. Minnesota on top of the Hawkeyes. The Hawks drove at 83 yards in 12 plays, sent Saunders in from a yard out, and then you saw the other yard run by Saunders. 62 yards, 9 plays was the drive.
It's important here, and you saw Saunders in that last play turn it upfield and pop up there pretty quick, and that's what the Hawkeyes have to do. Get that thing going and get that momentum going, but for sure come off that ball and knock people backwards and give those backs a chance to run.
Hartley going to go to the air for the first time with lots of time. Throws to Bell, complete at the 31, and that'll be a gain of a couple. In that first half, Iowa had 5 first downs, or rather 13 first downs. Minnesota had 5. Rushing yardage, 70 Minnesota, 75 for the Hawkeyes.
Once again, Hartley goes back with some pretty good protection. He's got 3 receivers deep. Nobody open, though, so he has to dump it off to his back out of the backfield, a safety valve. Nothing else, picked up 3 yards.
174 pass for the Hawks, 75 for Minnesota. And a total of 249 to 145. Total yardage Iowa's way. Hartley, 7 out of 15 out of 20, 2 interceptions. Here's Saunders with the ball, and he is out to the 43, and a first down for Mike Saunders, and a good tough run by him that time, and he picks up 12 yards to the 43. It was Frank Jackson from the secondary who made the tackle and stuck him.
good tough run, but some great blocking over there on that side. Bob Schmidt, there you see him with the block on the linebacker trying to kick him out. Saunders is out to the outside. Marv Cook made the key block, rolling that defensive end out to the outside to let Saunders cut it up inside. Saunders running very hard that time, as he has every time he's handled the ball here in this second half.
First down at the 43 of the Hawkeyes. Hartleb on a delay for Saunders. Ankle biter by Joel Statz, number 55, the linebacker, a true freshman. And he stops him at the 46. It's a gain of 3 for Saunders.
Well, that ankle biter saved a big play. Saunders made a good move to the outside, made that quick jump out there. Linebacker made a nice tackle right at the ankles, or else Saunders is going to get the outside and some big running room.
Second down, closer to 8. 11:36 left, third period, 13-12. Minnesota on top of the Hawkeyes. They got 2 easy scores, a field goal and a touchdown, when they took over the ball deep in Iowa territory at the Iowa 33 and the Iowa 29. Now timeout of the field. We'll be back after this. 13-12. Hawkeyes with a second down and 8. They give to Saunders. Scoots to the outside and may have the first down. Took a dive, and you can see where the official has put his foot down there at the 46 of Minnesota.
Well, there you see a little bit of that counteraction one more time. They look like they're going to the left, looking at it offensively, then gave it back to Saunders, and some good blocking over there. See Sean Smith trying to help out, but Saunders turned it up the corner and picked up some good yardage, diving in there to get the first down.
At the Minnesota 45, 11:21 left in the third period. Saunders 16 carries, 72 yards. Hartleb a delay to Saunders to the short side, and he is down at the 32. And that's another first down for the Hawkeyes. It was Andre Thaddeus, 6'1", 185, a redshirt freshman, Delray Beach, Florida, who made the stop.
Minnesota coming with the blitz. Both linebackers on the blitz that time. That's a perfect play to run against the blitz. Main reason is you simply have to just get one hole in there between a couple of those on-rushing players. And that time the Hawk offensive line did a great job of picking up the blitz and opening it up on the right side. Saunders took it downfield for another first down.
Watkins out wide to the left, Smith in the gap that way, and Harbert set out to the short side of the right about 7 or 8 yards. Hartleb to Harbert, and complete and out of bounds at the 25. And that's a 7-yard gain. And again, it was Thaddeus playing over in that right corner in place of the starter James King, who knocked him out.
Just a quick out pattern to pick up 5, 6, in this case 7 yards. Harbert's running a good square out pattern, driving his defender back and then cutting it to the outside. Hartleb with plenty of time for a quick pass like that to zip it out there.
In that first half, Cook caught 4 passes. He was the top Iowa receiver. Saunders caught 3, and Sean Smith caught 3. Second down and 3 at the Gopher 25. They give to Richard Bass, gets a nice hole, good blocking, and he's in to the 16. And another first down for the Hawkeyes. It was Anthony Bryant, a defensive end, who spilled him overboard.
Well, we've seen some great blocking in this drive by the Hawkeyes front line. Also, there's a nice play. Watch Bass there. He sees a man being blocked, so he jumped over it. That was Bill Anderson. Look at that guy block. He drove that guy right across the hole and drove him into the turf. Bill Anderson, outstanding center for the Hawkeyes.
First down. Deep in Gopher territory. And now we've got some jumping, and it looks like it was Rob Baxley who made the jump for the Hawks from his tackle spot. 63,894 is the attendance here tonight, and 63,669 was announced as what sells the place out.
You see Chuck Hartleb, we know exactly what he's saying. He's saying that the defense is jamming the signals, and that's what drew Baxley offside, and we saw that happen last week. Hawkeyes against Ohio State. Hawkeyes had a illegal procedure penalty called against him. Looked like they're going to have a second one called on him, and there it is. Exactly right. Chuck Hartley talked him into it. The official just gave the signal, illegal procedure, but that's going to be jamming the Hawkeye signals. He gave the illegal procedure signal, pointed to the Gopher side. So Chuck Hartley, alert there, knowing what's going on in the field, got the job done. Oh boy, now you
got the Minnesota coach way out on the field.
Right. Way out on the field and way down there past the 30-yard line where is supposed to be contained. Now they're walking him back to quiet him down. I can see where he's disturbed. It looked like Baxley moved and drew Gophers offside, but again, that jamming the signals, that was, I'm sure, the call.
So the whole thing turns into about a 16-yard gain, with the penalty and Bass's gain down to the Minnesota 12, and there's John Gutekunst still chipping his teeth away at Tom Quinn, the referee. Smith in a slot to the left with Watkins. Again, Harbert set out to the right, the short side. First down and 5.
That's an old defensive trick, and sometimes it works, but in that particular case, I'm sure they might have called it right from the start, but Chuck Hartley sure knew what it was.
Bell is the lone back in the backfield. Shovels it to Bell and bumps into blockers. Now comes down to about the 7. And Bell picks up 5. It was Sean Lumpkin, the free safety, who laid the licks on Nick Bell.
Watch this, a quick toss over there. We've seen that a number of times tonight. Bell, when he gets the ball, he looks upfield. There's a great move to the outside. He looked like he was going to run right into the number 77, the defender for Minnesota, but he jumped to the outside, got away from Trent Tripp, and got it down for the first down.
At the 7-yard line. First and goal. Watkins left. Now the slot is to the right with 22, Sean Smith. And Harbert's that way. And Bass is in as the lone back in the backfield, number 23. He gets the handoff straight in the middle, and he's inside the 5. Bass picking up 3, and Mike Sunvold, a defensive end for Minnesota, pulled the plug on it. And they're getting a good surge in there now, Mike, from that Hawkeye offensive line, I think, as you pointed out earlier.
Well, you're going to see it here again. Chuck Hartley calling the signals, gives it to Bass. Watch how low Bass is when he goes in there. He's underneath most of those tacklers. Because of that, the good leg drive, he's able to pick up 3 yards. Whereas if he was up a little bit higher, they'd probably be able to hit him and bend him back.
Pair of tight ends. John Palmer is in. Set out to the right. Actually 3 tight ends with Ward 88 in there. Hartley wants to throw for it. He does. It's complete. A touchdown to Tom Ward. One of the 3 tight ends in the ball game, and it's a 4-yard touchdown pass to Tom Ward. Ward from Iowa City, 6'4", 230, and a senior.
And 2 out of the 3 tight ends are right side by side, which is a little bit unusual. I don't think you'd want it that way normally. You'll probably be able to see it right the bottom of your screen. As Hartley throws it, you'll see Ward and Palmer right there with him. Well, maybe that's the way they designed it. Palmer guards or shields off the defender, and Ward catches the ball. The Hawkeyes look like they're going to line up and go for 2, try and pick up a couple of those extra points that they weren't able to get in the first half. So a good drive by the Hawkeyes, taking the ball, first series of this second half, moving it in for a touchdown.
That play is called tight end galore in the playbook.
I see.
They're going to go for 2. Hartley wants to throw for it, and it is batted away. Batted away. So timeout of the field. 9:11 left in the 3rd period. Iowa 18. Minnesota guys drove it. I figure unofficially 83 yards in 13 plays. We'll see here what the official is. And Hartley 18 out of 24 now tonight, 184 yards. Saunders with 17 carries and 85 yards. And the Hawkeyes picked up 6 first downs in that drive.
And it's a great drive for the Hawkeyes, simply from the standpoint you start the second half, hopefully that you build the momentum, take some of the spark out of Minnesota. But the second part of that always is when they get the ball now, they meaning Minnesota, what can the Hawkeye defense do to stop them right away? We'll have to wait and see.
George Murphy kicks off for the Hawkeyes, comes to Sean Lumpkin at the 9-yard line, out to the 20 and to the 30, where he goes down on his back. It was James Pipkins, number 4 for the Hawkeyes on the kick coverage team. They'll mark it at the 32. And a shotgun return by Lumpkin. And he's a true freshman from Golden Valley, Minnesota. 23-yard return for him. First downs for the game, Iowa 19. Minnesota's got 5. 32-yard line's the line of scrimmage. They hand off to Octavius Gould, the fullback, and he gets to the 35, a gain of 3.
That statistic that you just read there as far as first downs, Minnesota only with 5 first downs in this game. Obviously on the first half because this is the first possession for them in the second half, but that's pretty good defensive effort. Difference being the Hawkeyes turned the ball over a couple of times deep in Minnesota's territory, or in their own territory, that is Hawkeye territory, and then also on that punt.
Gain of 2, second down and 8. Schaffner, the quarterback, inside flip, and it is complete to Gould, and well played though by the Hawkeyes. Joe Mott, Matt Rulin, defensive end and defensive tackle were the guys who had it figured.
And watch this, Rulin makes a great play. Joe Mott comes around there really quick, and what the quick toss there, Matt Rulin got spun around, but he again got back in alert enough to get a hand on him, and then Joe Mott, after making the rush to the quarterback, was able to come back and make the tackle.
Loss of 1, third down and 9 now. High formation for Gould and Terry Stewart, 32 and 23. Schaffner for Minnesota throws a wobbler, and it is complete to Gators. A first down out of bounds at the Hawkeye 48, and that will be a 19-yard play. Torque Hook in the game was the guy who had the coverage.
And it was a pass thrown to the spot, knowing that Gator was going to be there. Schaffner throws it right at that spot. And there you see Gator run underneath it. Good execution. Whoa, whoa. And you can see there the foot on the sideline. Should have been called incomplete.
At the Hawkeye 48. They give to Terry Stewart off left tackle, and he gets a couple of yards. It was Joe Mott, the defensive end guy who has 21 tackles for a loss coming into this game and now holds the Iowa season record for tackles for a loss. Mott with 10 quarterback sacks and a gain of 2 for Stewart. Torque Hook had missed 6 games, and he did play a little bit last week, and he was the guy that they got to on that last pass play. They give to Gould, the fullback. A flag is down, though, by the line judge on our side of the field, also the linesman on the far side.
It looked like Joe Mott jumped offside, but whether or not he was pulled off, we're going to have to wait and see what the official calls.
Octavius Gould, the fullback. He's 6 feet, 219, and a sophomore from Browns Mills, New Jersey. There are 2 Minnesota players from that New Jersey town on this football team.
We saw the call there. Apparently they weren't drawn off. It's going to be 5 yards against the Hawkeyes.
Offside on the defense.
It's an 18-13 game. Iowa on top of Minnesota as the Hawkeyes took the opening kickoff in the second half down the field for the score. 83 yards in 13 plays. They put it down at the 41. Second down, about 3 for Minnesota at the Hawk 41. Stewart gets the shovel to the short side and roll him down to the sideline at the 36, and a first down for Minnesota and a 5-yard gain. Brian Wise, the strong safety, is the man who made the play for the Hawks.
That's right. Quick toss to the right side. You can see him crack back there on Brad Quast, almost a double team. Then Brian Wise, coming up from the strong safety, tripped him up.
So Minnesota got a couple of scores in taking the ball over deep in Hawkeye territory at the Iowa 33 on an interception, and at the Iowa 29 on Adams touching his knee down on a low snap. They got a touchdown and a field goal out of those two situations. Rolling is Schaffner, the quarterback, looking and throwing for the end zone. It is not complete. Oh, brother!
Oh, boy.
Off the fingertips of Jason Bruce, number 38, and Greg Brown, number 29, was the guy who was right with him.
Boy, how definite that was. The perfect pass it looked like, but just off the fingertips. Greg Brown was beaten deep on the play, and the pass was out there. Boy, the Hawkeyes dodged a bullet that time. Well, you watch it right here, right on the fingertips. Oh, boy. I noticed Melvin Foster came into the game in that last play, in for Brad Quast. I don't think Brad's hurt, but he just gone to the sideline for that play. Good to see Melvin back in there. He's sat out the last couple of weeks with an injury.
The fans see our reruns, and you hear them oohing and on after the rerun. Schaffner on a scramble to the sideline, and it is intercepted but out of bounds by the Hawkeyes as Schaffner got rid of a ball. And here's a flag going to be thrown on Keaton Smiley for something he said, as he and Brian Wise were the guys after the ball, and Smiley was the guy, I guess Rick, wasn't he, who came up with it.
Well, two guys diving there for it, not knowing where the out of bounds exactly is. But they're going to get him for something. Unsportsmanlike conduct, it could be my guess.
Ron Gator.
Personal foul. Boy, I don't know who he hit or what he said, or
no gopher in the area.
Nobody even down there. Let's see if we can see it here. On the rollout there, Son Jim is out covering in that outside zone. There you see the pass thrown out there, nobody around. Obviously they call it incomplete, but what happened after that, we're going to have to hear about it later, I guess.
15 yards to the 21 and a first down. And they are sending Smiley to the sideline. I wonder if he's been ejected. I wonder if he touched the referee or something, but still, that would still be unsportsmanlike conduct, I would think. Gould is the carrier for Minnesota, and he's sent out of bounds.
Well, I certainly didn't see it. Well, again, we'll have to wait and see what it is. But those are the kind of things that you can't do. That's obviously a little more inspiration for the Gophers. The Gophers on a move anyway here. Now you can see the tough run made right there, keeping his feet. Anthony Wright in there replacing Keaton Smiley. We don't know for sure if Smiley was ejected or just taken to the sidelines for a bit to calm down.
5-yard gain for Gould. Second down and 5 for the Gophers. On a delay to Stewart. Big hole inside the 10. Terry Stewart, the tailback. Anthony Thompson, Darrell Thompson rather, not playing at all in this ball game, suffering a new knee bruise, and Terry Stewart has come in here to play very, very well in his place at the tailback spot.
Well, that's a good draw play right there. You can see the big hole that was opened up at the line of scrimmage with the linebackers dropping back, thinking pass, showing pass. Minnesota on a good move right now.
63 yards, 9 carries for Stewart. First down and goal to go for the Gophers. Out of the eye, they give it to Stewart. He's through a hole. He's out of bounds. Driven out by Brian Wise, the strong safety at the 4-yard line. So Stewart picked up 4.
Another quick toss. See the fullback out there in front going in, looking at Lyman. Joe Mott right there misses a tackle. Son Jim can't quite get to him, and Brian Weiss has to knock him out of bounds. So they're on a roll. Hawkeyes are going to have to stop this quickly.
So they put it down on the hash at the 3. 18-13, the Hawks on top, with the Gophers trying to answer the Hawkeye touchdown. Now they're in the bone. Schaffner rolls out, keeps, and down he goes. They wrap him up at the 4-yard line. Jim Riley, the guy who got to him first, and they may have him for a loss of a yard as Schaffner came down the line that time on the option.
And you'll see Jim come through there and take on the fullback first that they faked to, and bounced off that and got hold of the quarterback. I say so myself, pretty good play.
Pretty good play, Dad. They put it down short of the 3, loss of a half a yard. 3rd down. Stewart and Gould. Stewart in motion, number 23. Schaffner gonna throw for it. It is batted down. Greg Brown, a good play. Knocked it away from Gators. Greg Brown, a sophomore from Iowa City, bats it away from Chris Gators, the split end.
And a good play by Brown and everybody else with the play action fake in there. And plus that sprint out to that side, you can see Greg Brown in great position, kind of tight right there, almost held on to it for the interception.
So Minnesota will try a field goal, and Brent Berglund will come in, and he will try one from 20 yards away. The angle is from the right. Herbal, the punter, will hold it. Spot is down, the kick is up, and it is good. And Berglund puts through his 3rd field goal of the night. 4:53 left in the 3rd period. Timeout in the field. We've got a game here. Iowa 18, Minnesota 16. Back after this. Smith on the near side, 22. Comes to him in the end zone. Out he comes to the 10 and out to the 15.
I watched it on the monitor all the way that time, and you couldn't tell for sure how deep he was in the end zone, but it looked like he was pretty deep. You got a chance to see it here, and boy, they have to have communication there. Look at that. He's 3-4 yards deep. Somebody should have said, stay back in there. But instead, it's out to the 15-yard line. A little tough field position for the Hawkeyes to get started. It's so important now. I tell you, you got to give Minnesota a lot of credit. They're playing inspired football tonight. Hawkeyes have given them a few breaks to capitalize on, and they were able to do it. So can't take anything away from the effort of Minnesota by any means, but the Hawkeyes just have been playing as sharp as I think they can. That's, I think, the difference of the game right now.
18-16 game. The Hawks lead it. They give to Bass, who slants over that right side, fumbles the ball. Minnesota's got it. Minnesota has recovered at the Hawkeye 24, and it is Sean Lumpkin, a free safety, a true freshman who flopped on the pumpkin.
Well, there's a case of it. Just Richard Bass putting together an extra effort. Watch this now. He looks like he's tackled a couple times. He keeps fighting and fighting. Obviously, when he's on his feet like that, you can see him rip the ball loose. That's a good play by the defender for Minnesota. Ron Getz was a guy that when he knew the ball was out there, you take a shot at it, you try and pull it loose.
At the Hawk 24-yard line. Schaffner on the roll, stops and throws, complete, a nice throw, a touchdown, Jason Bruce. It's a 24-yard play, and that was a great pass by Schaffner, who threw back off the roll.
Well, Schaffner did a good job getting out there to sprint out action. Greg Brown was right there in the coverage also, but he couldn't get a hand on the ball, and the defender doing a good job of shielding him away from it. You're going to get a good look at it here. Watch this as he sprints out. Melvin Foster coming on the blitz. He gets plenty of time to set up, throw back across his body, and Greg Brown dives trying to make the play. So Minnesota, once again, turnover by the Hawkeyes, take advantage of that break, puts touchdown on the board.
So the 3rd turnover, or the 3rd break for Minnesota in Hawkeye territory, turns into another score, and they're going to go for 2 here. Schaffner wants to throw for it, swings one out wide. It is complete to Stewart, and it's well played. The Hawks drop him. So timeout, and we'll be back after this message. .62 and 83 yards, but on the other end, it's been Merry Christmas time as Minnesota has scored, taking over from the Iowa 33, the Iowa 29, and the Iowa 24. Aiden Fry talking with Chuck Hartley. That's Ray Moran, the Iowa strength coach, behind him, and Gary Hughes, the Johnson County Sheriff. You see there in the olive. There's the drive. One play.
Yeah, one play, 24 yards. What was the other one? 4 plays, no yards. But they got a field goal off of that one. So obviously the Hawkeyes are running up the yardage, but Minnesota's getting the breaks and taking advantage of it. You got to have to give them credit for that.
Geyer kicks off. Smith on the near side. Davis on the far. It comes to Smith on the goal line. Brings it out to the 15 and runs into a pin hit. And the Gophers are fired right now.
Well, they should be. I mean, you talk about momentum so often, and sometimes it's an overused word, but that's the name of this game. There's no question now that Minnesota in the first half, they got the momentum going, taking advantage of some breaks. So for sure now in the second half, even after the Hawkeyes took the ball and moved it in for a touchdown, they came bouncing right back for a field goal, took a turnover into the end zone. Watch this. Good coverage by Minnesota Gophers downfield. They're really flying into them. Look at that.
Iowa's offensive line, Baxley and Schmidt on the left side, guard and tackle. Anderson at center. Divis on the right guard, and Hawthorne's the right tackle now. Hartley to throw. It is complete to Harberts at the 41 of Iowa, and that will be a 26-yard play, and Harberts was just there waiting for that ball to arrive.
Boy, that's right. And watch Sean Lumpkin for Minnesota come in. It looked like the ball was hanging there just enough that he could maybe get an arm on it. But boy, a great throw and a great pattern by Devin Harberts to get the Hawkeyes downfield here and let him get that offense going to work, hopefully.
Coming into this game, Harberts had 21 catches in the last 3 games, and he had caught 21 in the first 8 games for 42 catches for the season. There it is for Saunders to the 45, and Saunders picks up 4. It was Mac Stevens, who's played a lot of football for the Gophers tonight, from Akron, Ohio, a junior linebacker, and he's the one who put the hug on him. And now we have a Gopher down on the field, injured. Baxley went out for Iowa in the first half, but he came back, and he's in there right now at right tackle, a sophomore. Actually a left tackle, I guess. Schmidt, Bob Schmidt, a senior from Waterloo, missed 6 games, has not played since Michigan State, playing tonight, number 60 at left guard. Bill Anderson, number 50 at center. Greg Divis, who's been Mr. Steady in there at right guard, 6'3", 265. And we've got George Hawthorne in there now, number 74 at right tackle. Hartley, 19 for 25, 209 yards, and he needs 7 completions and 57 yards now to get after a couple of Chuck Long records for season passing.
Drive, but just can't keep, they're just not consistent.
That's Saunders, and he is out to the 49, a gain of 4, and it's going to be 3rd down and 2. It was Ron Getz, a linebacker for Minnesota, who hacksawed him. Harberts has 4 receptions tonight, 51 yards. Cook has 4 for 34, and Saunders 3 for 55. Hartley racking up the yardage with the passing game again. 3rd down and 2 for the Hawks. Saunders on the flea flicker, back to Hartley, down the sideline. Harberts, touchdown!
Oh.
No! Didn't get it as he was caught from behind.
Boy,
it was Frank Jackson, a cornerback, who caught up with him, and the big shoe may have jinxed Devin Harberts.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to tell him about that, too. Wishful thinking is all it was. Nice play, I'll tell you. There's a great football play. That could be one of the biggest 3rd downs the Hawkeyes have had, simply from the standpoint of they don't pick up the 3rd down, have to punt. Minnesota on the roll. You see Harberts coming in just a little bit short. If the Hawkeyes don't make that play and have to punt the ball to Minnesota, the way they're rolling now, could have been very, very disastrous. But
that was a 48-yard pass play. Max Stevens is the guy who had the pressure on Hartley, but the flea flicker works to the 3. Here's the give inside and a leap down on the goal line. That was Richard Bass, and he works it to the 1. Devin Harbert's had a long play, the longest Iowa pass play of the season, 59 yards. That one was 48.
Look how they pinch in like that. It's a great shot right there as far as the way everybody pinches the inside, trying to keep the defensive lineman down and drive them back the best you can. Give that airspace, keep the airspace open if you want, for the back to dive over the top.
That was the first time we'd seen a flea flicker this season, wasn't it, by Iowa?
I believe that's right.
At the 1-yard line, they give it to Saunders. Got open field ahead of him. Can he get the corner? He does. He's in for the touchdown. Stepping inside the pylon, and Mike Saunders has just scored his 3rd touchdown of the game, all from a yard away.
That's the same play that they ran for the first touchdown down at the other end. And that time before, he slowed up, held the ball up. This time he went to the pylon, and
watch how he uses the referee here.
You bet. He turns on the burners right there.
So now the Hawks are up 24-22, and it's the battle of what are we going to do for 2 points here tonight.
We're not going to do it. George Murphy in there to kick the extra point.
Holski holds, spot is down, kick is up by George Murphy, and it is good. So George Murphy kicks his first point of the season, 5'9", 154, a junior from Greenwood, South Carolina. And the Hawkeyes move it for the score, and another great drive, Mike. Man, well, they've had some drives here tonight.
A super drive. You take the turnovers away and figure if they don't turn it over or make a mistake that they could continue to move the ball like that, because when they haven't beat themselves with a penalty or a turnover, they've certainly been able to move the football. But that's the difference of the game. 25-22. Iowa late, a few other things, but overall, it's great to see him take that ball and move it like that.
So the flea flicker. Hart lead to Harberts on a 48-yarder to the 3-yard line, sets it up. 85 yards and 6 plays to answer the Minnesota score, which they got off an Iowa fumble recovery at the Iowa 24. So now we've got ourselves a 25-22 game.
Well, one of the things also the Hawkeyes have to look at now is the defense coming out there and getting after it. Slow down the Gopher offense.
Gators back in the middle. Number 2 comes at the 15-yard line to one of the up men. That's Fred Foggy, and he is out to the 29. 14-yard return by Foggy. And with 2:01 left here in this 3rd period, Minnesota's got the ball and trails 25-22. There's the scoring drive. Used 2.5.
Brad Quast back in the game. Melvin Foster now playing the weak side linebacker for son Jim.
Foster had missed a couple of games. Octavius Gould is the fullback with Terry Stewart. Schaffner on the roll, throws it to the sideline, and it was not complete. As the receiver went down on the rug, it was Jason Bruce, and couldn't make the catch. Would have been a heck of a play if he had.
Well, I tell you, you're right. It looks like he almost takes it one-handed, but I'm sure we'll see it skip off the turf. There you go, one quick skip. Great effort, though.
2nd down and 10 from the 29 of the Gophers. Crowd here tonight, 63,894. Seeing a heck of a game between 2 old rivals. Iowa's oldest rival, and that's Terry Stewart. Rolled down by Melvin Foster, who lowered him at the 31 for a gain of a couple.
It's good play by Melvin Foster. Watch as he goes. The back tries to get the outside. Foster stays right with him. Then when he tries to cut back inside, he's under control enough to spin him down to the turf.
So it's 3rd down and 8. And Scott Schaffner, the Minnesota quarterback, has had a good night. A redshirt freshman who took over for Alan Holt, who dropped down to the scout team, in fact, was not injured. Throws complete to Gould, the fullback. A first down almost. He may have gotten it at the 40. It was Dave Haight and Keaton Smiley, middle guard and cornerback, came up to disconnect Octavius Gould, the fullback.
Well, it's a screen pass over to that side. Lets everybody come through, gets it back outside or through the line of scrimmage, and then you can see the Hawkeyes converging. Dave Haight got up a little bit slow that time, but looks like it's going to be close enough to measure. Watch it one more time. He dumps it off there to the left side. Really no blockers out in front of him. It's more just a safety valve type of pass, not a screen pass. But it looks like it might be enough to pick up the first down. It's going to be awfully close.
Bringing the sticks in to measure it. You see Dave Haight, and it is a first down. Schaffner's 10 out of 20 now, 124 yards in this game. At the Minnesota 40-yard line, the Hawkeyes setting up with Mott and Burke, the defensive ends, in there. Foster and Quast are the linebackers, as Mike said. We have Gator at one tackle, and Keppel is the other tackle.
Oh, Keppel's in there, nose guard.
Yeah, he's at middle guard now.
That's right.
With Haight out of there. Handoff to Stewart. He bumped into his own blocker, and he's down at the 40. And that was Mike Burke, a defensive end. Brad Quast, a linebacker. Burke, a senior from Davenport, 6'5", 225, has played great football for the Hawkeyes this season. What play by these two defensive ends, Joe Mott and Mike Burke.
Well, there's a good play by two linebackers, actually, plus Burke. Melvin Foster going in there and jammed it up to make that back bounce one way or the other. Well, Brad Quast was there in the help out also, along with Mike Burke.
Now Haight's back in there again. Second and long. Schaffner throws wide open. Gators, a great catch and a first down at the Hawkeye 37. Oh, brother, and a flag is down.
Back at the 40-yard line, there's a flag. Did not see who threw it, but we're going to wait and see the way Minnesota's marching back. And Jeff Keppel's giving the signal now as far as it looks like holding against Minnesota. But there you see a great pass, great catch. Right between the short zone and the deep zone. Closest man there, Keaton Smiley, trying to recover to help out, but be to no avail anyway. The Hawkeyes get a break. The penalty called against Minnesota.
So that's going to put them back, and it'll be second down again as Bob Pickens, the umpire, walks off the 10 yards back to the 30. So it'll be second down and 20. They've got equal running room either way, and they set Bruce out to the right, Gators out to the left. And there it is, the end of the third quarter, 25-22. The Hawkeyes lead Minnesota. We'll be back with fourth quarter action after this break for our local station. Iowa City to break for our local station. Iowa City the last 3 years. This pig's been the prize since 1935. Iowa's oldest rival dating back to 1891, and the 82nd meeting here tonight. And it's been a great game, Mike. Well, there have been some things that have happened from the Hawkeye standpoint. Could have been a different kind of game, I'm sure, but that's made it quite a game. Here's Schaffner. Gets the rush, throws complete to Gators, and he is down at the 35. And a gain of 5. Brad Quast along with Brian Wise. Linebacker, strong safety. They're the ones that make the tackle, and it'll be third down now. Third down and 25. Is that right? Let's see. No, third down and 15.
Oh, 15. That's good play in the part of Minnesota, trying to get the ball to Gators any place in the field. He has some great running ability, but Brian Weiss, Brad Quast, they're covering pretty well. Third down and long yardage. Great opportunity here for the Hawkeyes to stop this drive or this series and get the ball back.
25-22. The Hawkeyes. Schaffner gets the rush from Haight, got a hand on him, throws it, it's deflected, seemed to bounce off a shoulder pad, and Dave Haight was in there and had a hand on him. Brad Quast almost had the ball.
That's right, on the deflection, Brad Quast went up, but it was a little bit too high off the fingertips. You'll see it here. I don't know if somebody gets a hand on it or he just throws it off the helmet like you say. One it up. There it is. Gator. Ron Gator for the Hawkeyes got the arm on it. Brad Quast almost got the interception.
Marciano back. No, it's Torque Hook back there to handle this kick. Marciano was shaken up in the first half as Herbal gets the punt away. Hook takes it at the 25 and is rolled down right there. So he couldn't get any place with it. The Hawks take over and we'll be back. On the first one, and then the Hawks missed on two two-point tries. Hartlieb is 1 yard short now of Chuck Long's yardage record for a season. With Nick Bell in there along with Saunders, who gets the handoff into the line, and Saunders brought down around the 28. It was Ross Ockelberg, a defensive tackle, 6'5", 265, a senior from Clitheroe, Minnesota.
Well, watching Saunders running there, we talked about that early, his chance to start, but I think he's had a great game. He's done a super job catching the ball and running with it. And that time he tried to do the same thing he did a while back, and that was stop and cut back against the grain, but couldn't quite get it done. But nice gain anyway, approximately 5 yards.
Second down and about 6. Hartlieb throws, batted away at the line, and it was Ockelberg again who got the hand up on it. Number 90.
You see it here, 90, the big guy there. Bill Anderson blocking him, had him not out. Pretty good protection for Hartlieb, but as Hartlieb fired away, the big guy got the arm up.
Saunders now has 100 yards in this game, and his first 100-yard game of his Hawkeye career. He had 78 against Purdue. Third down and 6 now for the Hawks. Hartlieb gets the rush, steps up in there, shovels it away to Bell and to the 30, and he took people with him out across the 35. Hartlieb is down, but he's going to get up slowly, and Hartlieb did a great job of improvising there.
He sure did. And Miller also getting up a little bit slow. Hopefully that's all right. Mike Miller. Watch this. They come with the blitz. Pretty good pickup there, but nobody on the outside guy. But Hartlieb did a great job of getting away from him. And look at this, just a little shuffle pass. And then the big guy turns it upfield to get the first down.
At the 36 of Iowa. 25-22, the Hawks on top. 12:54 left in the fourth quarter. Delay to Saunders into the short side, and he's to the 44. And he picked up 8.
Good hard job of running that time too by Saunders. He got a good block out there on the left side by Nick Bell, and when he saw that block, he turned it up inside it. You'll see it here. Watch Bell out in front of him, gets a good block right there, and then Saunders over the top of Bell, running hard.
That little flip to Bell was a pass, of course, completion, and Hartlieb now has 271 yards, and he has broken Chuck Long's record of 3,297 yards for a season passing. Handoff on the crisscross to Bell, through a hole, out in the open, and they bring him down in Gopher territory at the 38 for a big gain. It was Sean Lumpkin, the free safety, who brought him down. The big truck really got a head of steam that time.
Well, it shows his running ability. It's a counter play, a great call at this point of the game. Big hole, look at that. Now watch him come back to the right. Watch him change the ball right there. Good, smart running back doing a good job running hard. I don't want to have Mark go into any kind of a fit here, but was that a lateral or was that a pass that maybe tied the record?
First down at the 38 of Minnesota. Hartlieb again to Saunders, and he's inside the 30.
And the ball popped loose in there. Official from the back judge came right up and said, nope, the ball's dead. Another good job of blocking up front. Saunders running hard. Tell you what, you think about how close this game is and how maybe disappointed a lot of people are, the fact that Hawkeyes can't take charge of this game and put it away. But I tell you what, every time they've had the ball, except once that I can remember, that the Hawkeyes punted, that's when the Adams' knee was down. Every other time, the Hawkeyes have moved the football. They self-destructed on turnovers a few times, but no question they could move the football against Minnesota.
Second down and a fat yard. They give inside, and that is down to about the 25 now for the Hawkeyes, and enough for the first down for Iowa, with Richard Bass making the carry. Joel Statz, a linebacker, is the one who wrote him off. Gain of 3. So what are we going to call that? That was not the inside shovel pass. That was a lateral?
It was a lateral. That's what I thought. Just from the angle that I saw it here, it looked like he was behind Hartlieb when he threw it. So we have to erase that one, Mark, and hope that we get another one going here.
Bell, 8 carries for 55 yards. First down the Hawkeyes at the 25 of Minnesota. Again, the cross buck, and it's Bell out of the open on the same play, and he's down to the 15. No, it's Richard Bass this time. Bass down to the 15.
Well, the Hawkeyes really putting the thump on Minnesota right now with this drive. Some great blocking, the counter action plays, very similar to what Bell ran a couple plays before, but the other side, there you see old Richard Bass with the quick feet, doing a good job moving it up the field. So the Hawkeyes again putting together a good drive, and this would be a great one to put in the end zone.
10-yard gain. Bell is back in the game. Fumble on the snap, and Hartlieb covers it up. We've got David Hudson in the game back there, and that's I think the first time he's been in.
That's right. That's pretty good sized backfield you got in there right now. You got Nick Bell at 250, I think maybe 256, and David Hudson about 235, 240.
So they put it down at the 15. There's the rushing stats in the game this half.
For this half, you see how the Hawkeyes have controlled it as far as eating up a lot of clock when they run for that many yards also.
Second down and 10. Saunders is back in, replacing Hudson. And the play was blown. Whistle blew. Flags flew. Greg Divis was the guy who jumped on the right side.
Oh boy, and Hayden Fry over there in the sideline is giving Chuck Hartlieb some dramatic signals. Not knowing what he might be meaning by some of them, but it looked like illegal charge ahead. Let's get going.
So there's the 5-yard penalty. Hayden Fry upset over there on the sideline, on the far sideline from us.
Well, let's hope the Hawkeyes can overcome these two mistakes. The play before is when Hartlieb didn't get a good handle on the snap from center and had to fall on it to waste it down. Now we have a 5-yard penalty for illegal procedure. So 2nd and 15 on the 20. Hawks can do some real damage if they can put this in there.
Hudson is in there to block. Pass is batted again. And those Minnesota linemen have been getting their hands on the ball. That was Mike Sunbold, a defensive end at 6'4" and 250 from Brooklyn Center, Minnesota.
Trying to hit Travis Watkins on a quick square out pattern. But there you see it. The big guy gets his arm up there and knocks it down. Sunbold. And that's good defense. If you can't get to the passer, we hear it so many times, and we've said it a number of times, if you can't get there to put pressure on him, you might as well get your hand up, knock the ball down.
From the 20-yard line, 3rd down, 15 yards to go. Can pick up a first down just inside the 5. Nazari to the right, Harvard's to the left, and Bass now goes out as the slot man to the left, and Hudson's in there to block. Rolling is Hartlieb, and throwing, it is not complete. Shooting for Harvard's, diving on the sideline. And we've got George Murphy coming in.
You know, you've seen Murphy coming in to kick again. He kicked off for the Hawkeyes also. Kicked the last extra point right off the fingertips there. Would have been short of the first down, but it certainly would have shortened up this field goal attempt. But you got to remember, one of the kickoffs that Minnesota ran back, Skillett had to make a play to make the tackle down around the 50-yard line, and you wonder if he might not have been shaken up a little bit.
Spot is down. Kick is up. High enough. Far enough. Good! George Murphy puts it through from 37 yards, and that puts Charlie Linebacker up against the wall a little bit. 28-22, but a flag is down.
And we're going to have to wait and see what that is. Now, if that's a penalty that won't take it for a first down, which would have to be beyond 15 yards. Personal foul, 15 yards. So that will make it 4th down, and I'm going to guess about 1 yard, less than 1.
Personal foul, Minnesota.
No, won't either. They'll take it half the distance to the goal.
So let's see here now. Tom Quinn, the referee, is down there talking with Marv Cook. Hayden Fry on the sideline. Bob Cratch, number 70, you see behind him, not able to play tonight.
On the defense, stepping on the offensive player and elevating himself. Automatic first down.
First down? First down?
I couldn't hear all that, but the biggest thing I heard was, yes, it's a first down, half the distance to the goal, and then a first down.
So first down at the 10-yard line of Minnesota. Murphy had plenty of height on that football, and he had plenty of shoe on it. But the Hawks now will get a chance at a touchdown or a shorter field goal. Pitch it to David Hudson, and he is down inside the 10.
I think we got an explanation there, Ron, on the trying to attempt to block the kick. So they ran up over the back of some of the men on the line, somebody in the lines, and that's unsportsmanlike, but personal foul, but an automatic first down.
At the 8-yard line, Hudson picks up a couple. So it's second down and goal to go. Out of splitbacks with Saunders and Bass. Give it to Saunders into the right side, down to the 5. So Saunders picks up 3. It was Sean Lumpkin, the free safety, who came over for the Gophers to put the wood to Saunders.
Watch Saunders, how quick he gets up in the hole here. That's what I really like about it. The quick acceleration. Bass throws a pretty good block there. He's really up in the hole quick.
Now the Hawkeyes are going to take a timeout. A timeout with 7:37 left in the game, and the score, Iowa 25, Minnesota 22. Back after this message on the Hawkeye Sports Network. Right here, it's third down. Goal to go for the Hawks from the Gopher 5-yard line. And now Iowa's given a timeout. Is that for the crowd noise? That is not a full timeout, is it?
Boy, I hope not. Wait a minute. They just clicked it off the scoreboard up there that Iowa has no more timeouts. Wait a minute here.
Hayden Fry's not reacting at all over on the sideline. It is a full timeout. Full timeout. So things get stranger here. It's been an unusual game. There's Minnesota assistant going for the snuff on the sideline.
Well, that is unusual that the Hawkeyes, after having the timeout, would come back out and call another one. I think there's just some confusion here. Hopefully that's what it is.
Well, whatever, Fry did not react, so he must have told Hartley, if you got to do it, go ahead and do it. Let's not blow it down here. So Iowa has one timeout left. and Minnesota has 3. 7:37 left.
They put the one back on the board. I think they just weren't ready to go down there.
Hartley on the scramble, throws not complete. He was intending for Marv Cook just over the goal line. And it's going to bring up 4th down now.
Well, real dominant play action pass. Watch this. Fake one man, fake the second man. But there's the pressure by Minnesota Gopher coming in on the outside as Max Stevens, number 94, put the pressure on him, and Hartley couldn't get. You can see Marv Cook right there in the middle of your screen. He was open, but Chuck Hartley couldn't get the ball to him.
Murphy will try a 22-yard field goal. Paholski will hold it. Spot is down. Kick is up. It is good, and Murphy makes the redo good. So 7:28 left now, and it's Iowa 28, Minnesota 22. Back after this with Foggy and Lumpkins back there with him. Gators takes it at the 10-yard line. Comes out to the 25, through a hole to the 37. So a 27-yard return by Gators. And Minnesota's got pretty good field position.
Well, none of the kicks have been too deep. George Murphy doing the kicking off, and almost every time Minnesota's been able to get that ball upfield. Pretty good position to get their drive started. Going back, we mentioned earlier, I think maybe Skillett, in fact, he hasn't been kicking off, or obviously the field goal and extra point. He might have been hurt on one of those kickoff returns.
Schaffner throws complete. Jason Bruce, first down at the 50. It's a 13-yard play. Anthony Wright makes the tackle for the Hawks. So Schaffner comes out firing, and he's got some good receivers.
That's right. You'll see Brad Quast dropping back there, and almost getting a hand on it, but not quite deep enough. So they were very successful in dropping that ball between the short zone where the linebackers are and the deep zone where the defensive backs are playing off a little bit softer.
Keaton Smiley is in there right now. He was not tossed out earlier. We were wondering about that. He's been playing here. Here's Schaffner on the scramble. Throws it. Intercepted. Quast at the 41 to the 50 and out of bounds. Brad Quast makes his 4th interception of the season, and the Hawkeyes get the ball for once in the Gopher end of the field. Oh, brother.
Unbelievable. Look at that guy. There's Brad Quast. Sure-handed Brad, they call him.
Oh, those linebackers.
Oh, my.
Oh, those hands, those fingers.
Delicate fingers on the linebackers. This is a great play by Quast. After Schaffner gets out there, he gets some pressure by Dave Haight, tries to cut back and throw. And look at Brad Quast. Couldn't get enough mustard on it to get it over Brad's head. There Brad was once again. 4 interceptions. That's something when you think about it. 4 interceptions for a linebacker in this season.
Returned at 11 yards. Man, he loves to put on that running back strut, doesn't he?
Oh, boy. What a strut.
Hand off to Saunders. Looks for room, and they put him down at the 47. Saunders gets a yard. It was Ross Uckelberg, the defensive tackle. Saunders has passed the 100-yard mark some time ago. Iowa has this season Stewart 147 and 194 and 140 for the 3 previous 100-yard rushing games. And Saunders now with 120 yards on 26 carries. 2nd down, 9. Hartley going back, throws complete, and the receiver's down on the sideline and out of bounds. And that was Saunders, and he was put down by Max Stevens, a linebacker.
Looks like this pass was designed to throw to Saunders all the way. Chuck Hartley, as he dropped back, was looking downfield, but immediately looked over to the side. And I think what they're trying to do is isolate Saunders out there to get the ball to him and give him a little bit of running room. With his running ability, he should be able to take most people one-on-one. But that time, good defensive play. Came up and stopped him right at the spot.
Guy's caught a lot of passes today, too.
Sure has. He's had a great game.
3rd down and a fat 5. Hartley on the out to Smith, and inside the 40, not a first down. Whoa, wait a minute now. Linesman comes in, puts his foot down. About the 37, Charles McCree, the left corner, had the coverage for the Gophers.
Well, they're going to have to measure that. That's awfully close. If I had to guess, I think it's a little bit short. But let's hope it might not be, and the Hawkeyes can move the chains and keep this drive going.
Well, over these years that you and I have been together, your eye's been pretty good on this. Your first down call percentage is 83.5% over those 17 years.
That's right. A little bit short.
See?
I'm 83.6%.
Charlie linebacker with the silky hands and the good eyes. And a guy who's beat up more broadcast booths around the Big Ten than any man. They all show the wear and tear. Charlie comes to town.
This is an interesting situation now. 4th down, and as everyone saw, only about 6 inches. Hawkeyes, if they go for it, they keep the and get it. They keep the drive alive. If they don't, they turn the ball over on the 38-yard line for Minnesota to take it. Hawkeyes leading by 6, 28-22. Clock running right about 5 minutes.
4th down and 6 inches at the Gopher 38. Hartley gives the pass, first down and then some, into the 30. Oh, brother. Richard Bass, Joel Brown, the strong safety, is the man who erased him.
Well, some good blocking over there. You see Bob Schmidt on that side, Turner over there on that side. They caved everything down. Look at Marv Cook with a super block of kicking that defender out. You'll see it from this angle also. Look at the way it's caved down. Look at Bob Schmidt, the way he's caving his man down. Marv Cook doing his job. Big play for the Hawkeyes. Not only picking up the 6 inches, but as you said, about 7 yards. Ball in the 30.
Bass is carried 11 times for 57 yards. First down, they shoveled it to Saunders. Got Bass out in front of him, and he runs into blockers and tacklers at the 29 for a gain of 1. And it was Ron Getz, a linebacker for the Gophers, who gaffed him. That 57 yards for Richard Bass is his best of the season. Could be career best. I think it probably is. Ball just inside the 30. Second down, almost 10. Bass again works off the right side, and he wormed his way in there to the 24.
Well, the Hawkeyes doing the job they have to right now, and that is keep pounding away. Probably be a little bit conservative with your calls so that you don't try anything fancy and possibility of a turnover, but got to eat up the clock. That's the key thing. Down to 3:25 now. Clock running. As long as they keep that ball on the ground.
28-22, the Hawkeyes lead it. Rick Klatt takes a look in the record book, and Bass did have 107 yards against Wisconsin 2 seasons ago, 1986. Hard lead to Bass. Not much there on a 3rd and 4. And nope, that was Bell. That was Bell, 43. So Gary Isaacson, defensive tackle, is the one who stopped him.
No, you were right, Ron. That was Bass. Bell was off on the sideline, but here's a 40-yard attempt now by George Murphy. Ron, Tom Paholski, and they're holding. 40-yard try right on the 30-yard line. The kick is up high enough, far enough. Yes, it's good. George Murphy puts it through. Oh, brother, look at Hayden Fry. Oh, you bet. Little George Murphy, huh? Been around here 4 years. Redshirted his first year, if I remember correctly. Unbelievable. So time out of the field. We'll be back. And here he is going to kick off right here, right now.
Kicks it short, fielded by a short man at the 23, and falls down at the 28.
Yeah, a little extra pushing and shoving out there. Obviously some frustration on the part of Minnesota. They've played a pretty tough football game here today, taking advantage of some of the Hawkeye turnovers, and now as the season for them winds to an end, and assuming nothing crazy happens here with 2 minutes and 21 seconds left in the game, you can imagine their frustration that they will not win a Big Ten game.
First downs, Iowa 27, Minnesota with 12. Minnesota at the 28. Schaffner going to throw, throws one complete to Gould, Octavius Gould, and he is down at the 30. Like he juggled the ball a little bit, and that will be a 2-yard gain with 2:03 left.
Little dump off pass here again, just trying to get it to a back to run with it. Couldn't keep his feet.
Schaffner throws, it is not complete, and it was Merton Hanks who broke in there that time and had a shot at it. Hanks, number 45 right there.
I'll tell you what, Merton Hanks made a great break on that ball that time. You could see that developing just as Schaffner looked over to the left side and wound up and threw the ball. You could see Hanks reading the eyes and coming to it. Just a little bit over and off his fingertips.
Now it's third down. Third down and 7 for Minnesota. 31-22 the Hawks. 1:52 left. Here's Schaffner rolling and almost had by Joe Mott. Gets away, throws it. It's complete to Michael Baker, still on his feet. Reverses now, and a flag goes down. Now he's going to try and reverse the other way, and is caught from behind by Hanks and brought down at the 25.
Oh, and there's going to be a penalty back there for clipping. I think it was on against Dave Haight, not that he committed it, but he was the guy, the Hawkeye that was clipped. A little excitement. This kind of reminds you, Ron, was it 2 years ago or 4? To think it was 2 years ago, when the last kickoff of the game that the Hawkeyes did kick. There's a desperation on the part of Minnesota. They kept throwing the ball back and forth and around. Well, there you see the clip right there. Boy.
Getting to be bricklayer's picnic time here. At the 26-yard line is where they are sitting over the ball, talking to Jim Riley right now. With 1:34 left.
Clipping on the offense. Declined. Fourth down.
Declined, as you see. So they put it at the 26. Loss of 4.
And with the loss of 4, wouldn't do them. Well, you will obviously take the ball back a little further, but they're not going to punt here. This is 4 down situation with a minute 28 to go.
4th and 12. Schaffner back to throw. Throws into the middle. It is complete at the 30-yard line, and that's it. Doesn't make the first down, so you can pass in the songbooks on this one. And the Hawks are going to take over at the 30-yard line of Minnesota. With 1:19 left, and Iowa up 31-22. So over on downs it goes.
Well, I'll tell you, this is one of those situations that you say you weren't real pretty, but at least the Hawkeyes came out on top. They stayed in there. They played strong. They had the turnovers. It didn't look all that great at times, but the biggest thing that I saw is that the Hawkeyes, when they had to, they took the ball and moved it down the field. And thanks to George Murphy coming on the scene here to kick a couple field goals and an extra point.
At the 30-yard line of Minnesota, they give to Richard Bass, and he gets into the 25-yard line. I think it's Floyd imitation time, Charlie. Come on now.
Where is Floyd? Is there any camera that can get a shot of Floyd here and we can, huh?
I don't see Floyd. Timeout on the field, and we'll be back right after this.
Oh, how?
Reminder about a couple of things. The Athletes in Action game tomorrow, preseason game for the Hawkeye basketball team. at the Hawkeye Arena. Chance for you to see the Hawks at the arena. Lots of tickets available for that. It's not on the season ticket package. You can take advantage of that. Reminder about the Peach Bowl ticket number 319-335-9327. 9327. 335-9327. At the 25-yard line, Hartley gives to Bass, and he is into the 20. Come on, Charlie, give us a little Floyd.
Like a little scrum there, right? Isn't that what they call that
in rugby?
Rugby scrum.
Come on, give us
What's
a little
that?
Floyd now.
Where's Floyd?
Come on, let's hear Floyd. There he is. There's Floyd.
What a way to end the year, right?
Yeah. Oh boy. Mike's a little raspy tonight, so that snort was a little on the raspy side.
Well, Minnesota's chosen not to use their last 2 timeouts with that first down. Hawkeyes can sit on it now and finish off the game. But one of the biggest things that I think we've seen here, Baxter went out, or Baxley went out. There's Floyd right there behind Skillett. Look at that.
Yes.
I tell you what, that's
Floyd.
That old hog is heavy also.
You carried that hog a few times.
Carried that once, yeah.
Give to Richard Bass, and he gets into about the 18-yard line. As Hayden Fry says, we get to keep that Floyd.
Yeah, we keep Floyd for another year. But one quick comment as far as the Hawkeyes, didn't look like anybody really got hurt tonight. And that's the key thing. And there's going to be a lot of time now for these guys to get healthy and get ready for that Peach Bowl. And that's going to be the nice thing that we can see coming out of this season and out of this game tonight. But a good effort on the part of the Hawkeyes. Played tough when they had to. Good defensive game. And they walk away with the win.
There it is, 31-22. The Hawkeyes win it here tonight, and we'll be back after this message on the Hawkeye Sports Network. 22, and Chuck Hartley, we have him 23 out of 33 tonight, 279 yards, and he got into some more of Chuck Long's records. Richard Bass with 15 carries, 74 yards. Saunders 27 carries for 121 yards, all unofficial. And Harbert's 5 catches for 100 yards. And the Hawks had to play over some misfortune here tonight, Mike, and that was maybe the big thing about it all.
Well, they sure did, but that's a key thing, that they were able to play over some of those things. They gave up the ball and some turnovers and mistakes, a couple penalties that caused some problems, but they were able to play over those. And win this football game is a great way to finish the year, especially when you play up here in a tough arena like this. But one of the key guys, I think, is Mike Saunders. He got a start tonight because of Tony Stewart's injury, but came on, I thought, played a great game. So for our true value player of the game, we're going to give it to Mike Saunders. There he is, 27 carries for 121 yards. And I tell you what, besides that, he caught a lot of passes and moved it up the field very well also. So it's great that he took advantage of his opportunity here to start. And so we congratulate Mike Saunders, true value player of the game.
He scored 3 touchdowns, as Mike said, all from 1 yard away, all from 1 yard out. On all 3 were on sweeps, I think, weren't they?
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, one was a dive over. 2 run right to the pylon. One was a dive over the top. But the other part of it, the first drive, if you recall, it was Saunders handling the ball almost in every play, either by pass or run. So he picked up a lot of yards, total offense in that particular drive.
And the other guy they'll talk about is little George Murphy with a 22-yard field goal and a 40-yard field goal here, and also an extra point. George Murphy, a 5'9" junior, is another hero in this game. So that is the final score, 31-22, Iowa over Minnesota, and the story on Iowa and the Gophers here tonight. We hope you've enjoyed these weekly telecasts, and we'll join Mike and me next season on the Hawkeye Sports Network. Hawkeye Football was produced by Chuck Lutz and directed by Jim Laukas. Remote facilities were provided